Today we sit down with Austin Huffman, founder of Valvetronic, a massive exhaust company. Believe it or not, Austin started Valvetronic back in 2018 while he was still in college. What even else needs to be said? This conversation was an absolute blast, and there's no doubt you're going to enjoy it. This is Supercar Connection. This is the Supercar Connection podcast, bringing you behind-the-scenes conversations from across the industry. If you love supercars, you're in the right place. So let's hit it. What's up? Today we're sitting down here in Unique Auto Films in Tarzana, in the Valley. Great spot, super clean. They specialize in wraps, UPPF. They've got everything. We got some great cars in here. Performante, SF90, 488, a crazy Gentani FF back there in the corner.
Might be the baddest FF I've seen.
Yeah.
I walked in and saw that car, and I'm like, actually,
that's just kind of clean.
Maybe I need one of these.
Yeah,
we got a clean all-white shop with some sick cars. This is a great place. If you're looking for a wrap, this is a great place to do it. High quality work. We appreciate them letting us set up and shoot today with Austin, the founder of Valvetronics.
Yes.
The Alibaba.
The master. Everybody on the internet right now is going, whoa, you can buy the same exhaust online on Alibaba.
I almost bought one on Temu.
In stock?
Really?
No.
How would that have gone for you?
It would have gone probably in a fire, maybe.
Well, let's think about what are the real costs of those savings. Customer service. Not going to get anybody.
No.
Fitment. Might work, might not. Workmanship. How long is it going to last? Who can say for sure? And I guess if we're going to open up the podcast with a topic that's very near and dear to my heart.
Bangers. Only bangers. Heat.
Yeah. In whatever industry, this is a t-shirt that I bought off Amazon. Could I have printed the t-shirt myself? Probably, but it would have taken a huge amount of time, effort, and energy to do so. In the same way, people can try to do what we do, but we don't do anything else but exhaust. I don't make wheels. I don't make suspension. I don't do any of that because I just want to be the best at what we can be the best at, which is exhaust. And that's where we got to start. So it's been a fascinating learning experience, but there's always so much more to learn.
Yeah. When did you start it?
I started it in the late 2018. And the reason I started it is because my mom hated to be in my car because it was too loud. Dead ass. That's where it all began. And I had a 335 that I had spent every dollar I ever earned from like flipping burgers and detailing cars. I spent all my money on this car. I did downpipe, I did all the stupid shit. And immediately when I did those things, my mom was horrified because it would rattle the garage. She would come down screaming because she would leave for work at the same time that I would go to school in the morning. Mm-hmm. She was always horrified. So she said, why don't you make it so that it's quiet when I'm in the car and when you start it, and then it's loud when you're in the car. And I was like, that's a good idea. Yeah. And the BMW 335, the E9X generation, so my car was 2011, that car already had a factory exhaust valve, but it wasn't very well optimized. It was just for kind of emissions regs. So what I did is I just built a valve controller harness, and I made like a muffler bypass with a valve in it. And that was the first Valvetronic Designs exhaust was born right from there in my dorm room in college.
Hey,
so
you made
then,
it yourself?
I'm sorry?
You made everything yourself?
No, so I ended up finding a muffler shop to help me like put the idea together. And I took that, I made a jig, like a fixture, and I found a local fabrication shop to build me a couple more. And then I ended up finding the same person who does some of the Soul Performance exhaust parts. We would make 10, I would sell 10. We would make 25, we would sell 25. But everything was in-house. So I had no idea how to source anything from overseas or how those processes even worked at all. Mm-hmm. So from there, I sold that car and I bought an E92 M3. Just still, I think, if you want an experience and a car that'll be kind of reliable, that's a great choice. But that car got me in to do like the first Valvetronic V1 program, which was like electronic valves and sourced from this website. And that was what really taught me that, wow, this stuff sucks. And we need to do a lot better job if we're going to actually have a sustainable company and be able to provide people with not just the product, but the experience that was going to really capsulate people and make it so Valvetronic as a brand could last forever. So it's been definitely an interesting experience.
Yeah. So how long were you buying stuff from Alibaba?
So it started initially that I had really easy access to a bunch of these models and these exhausts. But then every single one, and I'm not kidding, every single one would come in with something wrong. Yeah. Valves would rattle like crazy. We would have major fitment issues where stuff had to be heavily, heavily modified. And our first shop where we started, Valvetronic, I couldn't do fab work inside. So I had to like have a contract guy come in either like super late at night where no one was in the building, or have him work outside of the shop just to fix stuff. It was really, it taught me so much about how something may look very pretty in pictures, but if you're actually going to have a sustainable business, you got to really work on your QC and make sure that stuff fits, works, operates well, and that's just going to last. Because it got to the point where I was making some money and I'm like, I don't feel confident in the stuff that I'm selling. I need to be better. I need to take this to the next level. And that's why I've not got into doing suspension or wheels or carbon, just because I want to be the best at what I can be the best at. That's why we do the universal muffler project. I made a universal muffler for bikes, like a valved muffler for bikes, which is going to be coming out soon. I just want to be able to give people the flexibility that they actually need.
Yeah.
Because my mom was very irate when I would start the car in the morning, and we have saved so many people from like HOA problems and problems with their neighbors because it's actually valuable to have this valved exhaust technology. Not everybody wants to hear your straight pipe Civic, dog. It's just not about it.
It's simple as that.
Also, you're in California, you hear the whoop whoop, and then flip the switch.
You're donezo.
What's funny about California though is compared to like other states, California police seem to have gotten a little wise to that, and so they'll ask you, "Oh, put it in sport or open the exhaust." I've gotten stopped once, and they asked me to. I was driving a rental Mustang, doing burnouts. Shh.
In Mexico.
Yeah. It's somewhere, not here. And they asked me, like, they were like, "Open the exhaust," and it had the active track exhaust thing, and I'm like, "This is a stock car, dude." And he was like, "Well, how do I know that?" And I'm like, "You and I will go under there right now and we'll look at the Ford Performance stamp on those mufflers." He's like, "Well, how can you be so sure?" Brother, I do this for a living. Come on, man. You're not going to out-exhaust me on the side of the road, CHP. Come on. And the guy let me go. But it's this country, people are not so wise to it. But in Germany or in Austria, don't even try. It is fascinating. They're so knowledgeable.
Really?
Yeah, they walk up. I was with one of our sponsors overseas.
They take this shit seriously.
Dude, for what? It's so dumb. But we put the exhaust on his car. We went out. It was Audi R8 V10. We went out, and the guy we got stopped in Switzerland, and it was so bizarre because the cop came up, looked through the mesh, saw titanium, and was like, "This is R8 Performance. Doesn't come with factory titanium exhaust."
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm like, bro, what? You
shoot yourself a little bit.
I was so taken back.
Did it also make you feel kind of proud though? Wow, look at these guys. They really care about this stuff. Did it feel like an enthusiast
People can
thing?
care
or did
about
it
a
feel
lot
like
of things, but it
this
doesn't
out?
mean that, I don't know.
You'd think if he knew that much and was like an appreciator
He'd be on the other
of
side
things,
tuning cars.
Yeah,
right.
literally.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be busting you for it. He'd be like, "This is a nice exhaust."
But I feel like nowadays the car is a very easy target.
Yeah.
Right?
Fuck
It's
yeah.
like, if you want to have something be the chief promoter of your legislation, like for emissions regs and stuff, you could kind of point at the car and be like, "This is wasteful, this is useless." That's why I don't know about you guys, but personally, like, SUVs as a concept is really frustrating. I just don't get it. Like, not every housewife needs to have a Discovery 130.
Bro, what?
Thank you.
Hold on.
Bro,
I will shake your hand on this.
Both. I know you
Bro,
guys.
I hate
did just-
SUVs.
Yeah,
no.
okay.
This is great. But I would rather have an RS6. I'd rather have like an E63 wagon.
I'd rather have an FF.
How tall are you?
I'd rather have an M3
I'm
CS.
6 foot. How tall are you?
I'm 6'5".
You're fucked.
That's what
Bro,
I'm saying.
just don't take growth hormone.
The whole concept
He's
of
not
you not
6'5".
understanding the concept. You're tall enough where SUV is comfortable for you.
No, it is, bro. But
I understand.
He's maybe 6'4".
how tall are you?
5'9". I'm supercar size, baby.
Yeah, but I mean,
He was built for Ferraris.
I don't know. I feel like I have an M5. Like F90 is my daily, and that car does everything flawlessly, and it has enough room. It has enough space. It's actually bizarre. That car is smaller inside than like an E34 M5. I don't know why, but it does everything so well. But I just don't like to be up high. Like, why do you need to be?
I
up
don't
high?
like being up. This is what I say all the time.
Bro, but being up.
But yeah, but you're a bigger guy, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a whole different experience.
I don't like being up
Like
high.
you don't like you've driven a couple of G63s before.
Such fucking shit, Brooks.
You really
Red
don't
truck
like
on
those
wheels.
cars?
No. For like performance driving, absolutely terrible. But like the
shit.
one that's right there, that's cool. Like
For
a
vibes,
two-door.
you don't like just cruising at a
Yeah,
nice
no, it's
time?
cool. But I'd rather be in like a Cayenne Turbo GT or something that was actually
You
designed.
guys just
go
like to be cracked out all the time. That's
I
all
just
it
like
is.
being- yes,
Both of you guys
honestly,
like to
yes.
be cracked all the time.
No, but I find the M5 is more comfortable than a G63. My father has a G550.
I'd also rather drive like a Ghost than a Cullinan.
That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
That's fucking wild.
Like
It's just so much more
I
aesthetically
wish
pleasing.
Lamborghini
Also,
made a
too,
sedan.
That would be cool.
Like the Estoque concept back in like 2012.
But here-
was
Some
Some
so
Lamborghini
sick.
sedan?
Yes,
You mean
Lamborghini.
the freaking Lanzador crap?
No,
that they
not
did?
the Lanzador.
no, I've seen it. This is one on Top Gear. They had it on Top Gear. for an
Yeah.
episode.
In like 2012, they had this
it looked like a
concept
Huracan
car.
in the front, but it was like a sedan. It was cool.
Bro, it was sick.
Kind of Aston Martin Rapide vibes.
Okay.
But the SUV thing is very easy. I shouldn't say I dislike SUVs, but they're so much less efficient than regular cars. So legislation can really point at that and go, look at this is wasteful, it's stupid. I don't know. Just for me, I'd rather be in like a sedan.
So you're not an Escalade B fan?
That is very cool because that's just ridiculous. That's just
awesome.
such a dumb car.
But it's as
awesome.
wasteful as it gets.
Yeah, but that's cool. But like it's wasteful and funny. But like your Audi Q3, which I consider like a small SUV, that is a stupid car because that is a Golf on stilts. I'd rather have a Golf. It's more practical. I don't know. Aesthetically, I don't think they're that attractive either. This is really all the hot takes. Just throwing shit out there.
Oh, so yeah, you just bomb
Yeah.
after bomb after
Yeah,
bomb after bomb.
fuck.
You're telling me that they've got the airspeed monitors are big up there in the Northeast?
And New Hampshire and places, yeah. Yeah, they'll get you with aircraft.
Because you see that sometimes. You know, it's like monitored by aircraft. I'm never buying. I don't buy it, but
I don't buy this
the
shit
amount
either.
of tax dollars spent, because they'll use like
that feels illegal.
a Cessna 172 to get your speed.
I'm a citizen. I pay taxes. You
Yeah.
can't do this to me.
But like that plane costs them in fuel and pilots and stuff $500 an hour to just run the plane.
Dude, do you know the city of LA's helicopter budget
I don't want to know.
per year?
It's more than I make in a week. No.
Something ridiculous. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
know.
don't
sure
know
it's
exactly.
They
what
just
it
throw
is.
away that tax money.
But it's for there's always a helicopter.
But you know why that is?
Why?
It's because you don't want to be the guy in the government who didn't spend all his allocated budget.
Correct. You have to, or else they're going to cut your budget down. You have to
Exactly.
keep spending.
This is also Los Santos.
Yeah.
That's
Dude, it
very
is.
That's a big pier.
I did park my GT3 on the street, like my RS on the street, and I was like, damn, this is really cool. But it feels like a GTA game. I feel like I'm going to get sideswiped at any moment.
any moment.
And then like
or jacked at any moment.
some girl in like a Mazda 3 with dark tinted windows is just going to swipe the side and slide, bro. She's out of there.
My friends that don't live here are always like, "Do you get like pulled over a lot? Do you get a lot of speeding tickets?"
That is an E46 M3,
How do you know?
just because I know. There's nothing else in my head.
It's
Just exhaust.
It's not.
Just noise.
It's
If
not-
you were to open it up and fillet it, it'd just be.
Are you sure that wasn't a Prius with its cat stolen?
That is the most funny vehicle to listen to. Bah, because like the electric, and
No,
then
that
it
thing,
cuts
when
in.
it kicks on, that thing chops.
Yeah. It's rowdy, bro. God damn.
It's crazy how much a cat and a muffler does to your system.
Well, no, it's just the header dump is so funny. Speaking of Toyotas, we have a video out now for the new Lotus Emira. We made a full exhaust package for the new Emira. I wish I could. Can I cut to it?
You can.
If this is an Instagram reel, we're gonna cut. 3, 2, 1, sound clip.
Yeah, the Emira exhaust.
That sounds kind of like a half GT3, and I think that exhaust will make the cars
So it
valuable.
sounds like shit then.
What?
You said a half GT3.
Half GT3.
Right,
No. I would say like in terms of RPM range. Not that it sounds like one half of it. It just sounds like half. It sounds like the car up to the certain RPM range.
Where's that
sounds-
rev
so
out
it
to?
sounds like
75?
70, like 100. It doesn't rev that high. It's the Toyota V6 out of the Camry. And so we did.
It's that
I'm
motor
aware,
dropped in that car?
Yeah.
Is it really?
It's a reliable vehicle, brother.
You don't.
But you know, it's a
Don't
Lotus.
pretend like you didn't know
It's
that.
a
I didn't know
Lotus.
that. I did not
It's a
know
Lotus.
He
So
doesn't
It's
care
a
about
Lotus. You gotta
That's
give a
the
shit
thing.
about a
He doesn't
Lotus?
care about
it's a Lotus. It'll find some way to break down, or it'll find some way. Even though they use the aluminum, it'll find some way to rust.
And then the Lotus dealer will charge you ungodly amounts of money to do very simple
I
tasks.
hope that car that is successful though. I really like that car.
Really?
It's a cool car.
Yeah.
I'm
But
almost
like,
disrespected that you felt that I should have known that automatically.
Oh yeah, I
What
mean,
world do you think I give a shit about the Lotus? Honestly, just ask
cut to a
myself.
clip of him driving a Lotus Emira and loving it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That one thing I have heard is everybody that drives like a Lotus or especially the new Mirror, everybody loves it.
Yeah,
We
dynamically.
have a friend that's like obsessed with it.
Dynamically, they're very, very impressive. But it's very funny how
I just
nowadays
feel like nothing else.
Really?
it doesn't like anything else.
Yeah.
Just like Lotuses. That's a bizarre human.
What?
That's a bizarre human if he only likes Lotus.
No. I'm saying it.
No,
Lotuses feel like nothing else.
Oh, okay,
No.
got it.
Yeah.
He is a bizarre human being, though.
So both points were
both
correct.
points were valid. Both
Got
points
it.
were so valid.
Got it.
I was like, do you know him? I was like, because he is a fucking
But
bizarre human
what's
being.
funny though, if you take that car, we're having this conversation right now, it's amazing how sound has made certain cars so popular.
sure.
SVJs.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever heard of stock SVJ? I haven't, because they all have exhaust.
Yeah.
Because why would you not? You spent
because
that much
Alex.
money on the car, you better.
Yeah.
Literally,
spend
'cause
some
Alex.
money.
Because of Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Alex.
And
Gintani.
yes, well, actually, we
Not gin
can
tonic.
now go into something very interesting in terms of like my inspirations for exhaust for doing this shit. Alex, there's a guy named Inked Customs I think he's in Germany. Amazing stuff. Then we also love Secret Weapon Fab.
Really?
Love those guys.
We talked about them with Shane.
Yeah, Shane.
But so
They make a
here's what's
crazy
very
R8 exhaust, no?
here's what's very
Yeah,
interesting.
W10.
And their Aston Martin V12 Vantage exhaust sounds like
Oh, it sounds like a fucking Formula One car.
it's ridiculous.
Does it actually? I haven't heard
Yes,
it.
bro.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
But here's what's very interesting, and let's
He's really heard everything. Huh?
Yeah, we can come back to this.
So have I.
Yeah, there's nothing else in my head, but we'll come back to this. What's on my shirt right now? The difference between Valvetronic and some of those other companies is yes, we produce stuff overseas, but have you ever tried to contact Secret Weapon Fab and buy something? You can't, because it's a very, very, very limited production of systems. Same thing about some other companies. Like Alex Gintani's system is so good, and he's commanded the market like no one has. But it takes time for people to get those systems. My objective is, because my business model is very different, because I started from a supply chain background. I didn't start as some guy fabricating everything by hand. I had people help me do it. That's why Valvetronic is different, because I want to offer the best sound for everything, whether it's GT3s with the system that we're going to be seeing soon on YouTube for my RS, which is like an equal length race package, but you can use it with the stock headers and it gives you really high pitch RSR sound, but no check engine lights or anything. My McLaren 720S, where I did a double X pipe, where that car sounds like a 458, whether it's our G80 system, which sounds very exotic, like any of these systems, Valvetronic's objective was to give the enthusiasts the systems they wanted and the sound that we could engineer as best we could, but then make them accessible for people to actually buy.
Available.
Yeah.
The McLaren exhaust, which is personally, I think, have you seen the Xander exhaust with all those, the crazy...
Like million pipes out. Like,
Yes,
like this.
yes. So our setup sounds almost identical to that, and that setup is $25,000 and ours is $5,000, and I have mine in stock. So your McLaren owner, if they really want like a 458 sounding experience, they can just go and buy mine instead of having to go through all the hassle. It's going to take 6 months to make the exhaust. That's why Valvetronic is trying to do things differently, because it's not just about the product. It's about your interaction with how you order the product and how fast you can actually get it. Because a lot of these people who buy these cars, they have these cars for like 6 months. If you're waiting for 6 months for an exhaust,
Right.
Very true.
That's
Very true.
that's one of the I've had that thought too, because everyone we talk to think about it. Shane, I mean all the dudes.
these guys, they make incredible stuff, but my model is just different because I don't want to be small. My business model doesn't work small. I
It's
just
volume.
want to be large.
It's volume.
And I want to offer the best experience and the best sound that I can in volume so that everybody can have the best sounding experience. So that's my objective. And if people want to come after us and say that, hey, I can go buy the same shit on AliExpress, rip it, bro. Call me when it breaks. I'll sell you something better.
Let me ask you this. I feel like one of the biggest things that is maybe a misconception, depending on who you're talking to, is the quality of it when you do it your way.
Yes.
How do you feel like you've been able to combat
Good
that?
question.
That's strong.
So in terms of quality, we started at the beginning when I started Valvetronic. Quite frankly, that stuff was not very good. It's because I didn't have my suppliers figured out. I hadn't gone to China. I hadn't figured this stuff out. But once I found out who the best suppliers are, who make a lot of the really high-end exhausts that you might see, there's a 4-letter brand, begins with an R, that we're all familiar with, that make really cool titanium exhausts. Where their stuff is made, they do extremely high-quality stuff too. It's the same as us. But we're using a thicker grade titanium material. We're engineering the stuff, Valvetronic, engineering the stuff in-house, and then we're CAD scanning everything, with 3D scanning everything, and then sending that to our suppliers so that they don't fuck it up. Because quite honestly, this stuff is easy to screw up. And a lot of people, they buy this cheap stuff not knowing where it's from. And yes, when we started and like our first titanium stuff wasn't that good, But now the muffler casings and the pipings are all tested to be grade 5 titanium. So it's the best configuration that we can offer. In terms of quality control, like stuff gets inspected properly as it comes in. Do we have little problems? Of course we do, but that's any business. And then on the other side of it is the service aspect. Like I have so many people who are on the lines to help people, like instant chat response. So we can get
key.
people.
That's fucking key.
Dude, the car's at the shop. They need a phone number to call. They need someone to talk to.
Very much so.
Because if our policy just says, we'll get back to you in 48 hours or 72 hours, you're screwed. You got to pay the shop for labor. But if they can get us on the phone and we say, hey, this is the problem. I just went over to Limitless Auto Body. We did a GT4 RS exhaust. It was
Rob?
talking to Rob. His car was throwing a light. And I was like,
On his GT4?
on a GT4, yeah. And we found out that his techs had installed... Huh?
No, sorry. You gave me a little wink. Sorry.
We found out that his tech had installed O2 spacers on a car with factory headers, which didn't make any sense. So we fixed that, and then it had a vacuum leak.
Don't they all?
No, it's
I'm
just our valves were fine. It was just the T connection into the motor for the vacuum for the Porsches. It just wasn't. Someone forgot to connect it. So we fixed it in like 10 minutes. But he was like, I need to return the system. I need to return it. I was like, Valvetronic customer service. I'll come to you.
Right.
And we'll fix it. But it was a very easy fix. And that's how a lot of shops too, they're based on volume. So they want to get the cars in and out, and stuff's got to fit and work, and they can't be calling you on the line. You got to have fast response times. That's why, the product itself is very good, yes, and we've worked so hard to make the product good, but it's also about the service aspects and how fast you can get a hold of us and the accountability. Quite honestly, if someone's spending this kind of money, they deserve a stellar experience.
They should.
So
Coming from experience, again, like I told you, I own a collision center. I don't order aftermarket parts too often. Mostly everything's OEM. But when I have to, like I have clients that I like, for example, I'll get an M4 in and he doesn't want OEM front bumper. He wants some type of custom something. Every time I dread it because dealing with them, they never have it in stock.
Yeah.
It's going to take 2 weeks to ship out.
Yeah.
I can't get a hold of anybody. I'll email, leave voicemails. I never get calls back. So every time I have to go through that experience, I dread it because I just know it's going to be a drowning process.
Well, that's the thing too, is we think about like why Valvetronic has been successful. Yeah, the products are cool and we make cool YouTube videos and stuff, but it's actually because people trust the brand to take care of them. And that's, if you really take this thing in stride, like all the stuff that we do, whatever business, that's all that counts. Genuinely. Like I never wanted to, when I started, I thought I was starting for a particular reason to like make money, but now it's actually because people need this, but people want to have a good service. That's why, the products are expensive because it takes a lot. I have like 30 people now, and a lot of them are in customer service. A lot of them are really making the experience valuable because that's what counts. And so that's how I want to grow the brand.
End of the day, you're in the people business.
Everybody is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
There's no business.
It's a lesson.
Exactly. But yeah, so like in terms of where we started to now that I have my own shop, like the building that I own and like all the fabrication gear that's gone into that. And quite honestly, I've had to learn a lot. Like I was up like with a glass of whiskey looking at 3D scanners like midnight because I have no time to do it during the day because I'm working on other things. But
What kind of whiskey?
a friend of mine, he got me like,
you can't just slip that in.
like
and then
he got me like this really good Blue Label whiskey that I have sometimes like when I'm like, oh, woe is me. But I find that kind of those late hours where you can really like lock in, smooth jazz playing.
It's a different type of mental focus.
Yeah.
When
It's
the whole
Nantucket.
day-
That's what it is.
Literally, I'm telling you,
Bro.
you scream
Dude, a
Nantucket,
place
bro.
that I've not spent a lot of
Smooth
time
jazz,
there.
bro.
smooth
You
jazz,
belong
some whiskey,
there.
late
You really
nights.
belong.
All right, when are we going?
Whenever you want.
Bro, I own the island. Trust. Like,
let's do it.
but no, so like the real business model has been focusing in on, we have to separate ourselves from everyone else. That's why like Gintani's been able to do that. These other really good exhaust brands have been able to do that. They've separated themselves. And credit where it's due. Alex has done the most incredible job of making a cult following. The number of kids,
Legitimate cult.
the
You don't
kids
understand.
who
Legitimate
run to
cult.
the cars. It's
Sprint.
wild.
It is wild.
Wild.
Well,
Well, just type in SVJ exhaust on YouTube, and the first
one's Gintani.
20 videos are going to be Gintani.
Yeah, like you don't hit a Valvetronic till like page 5.
Is it Gintani or is it Gintani?
Gintani.
It's Gintani.
Gintani.
Everyone says Gintani.
But it's Gintani.
Everyone gets it wrong.
You're welcome, Alex. You're
I'm trying to
freaking
say
welcome.
Gintani.
We're out here doing the Lord's
Down
work
here
for
doing
you,
the work
Alex.
for you.
Gintani.
Gintani.
Well, I've been
Gintani.
screwing it up forever, so
Well,
forgive
so
me.
has everyone. So don't even worry about it. We
But-
meet people that are like friends with him and
Yeah.
say Gintani.
Yeah, for real.
Gintani.
Gintani.
But we sat down with him.
It's fine.
And talked
Say
to
Gintani.
him.
I say
and-
Gintani
and-
still.
And cleared,
just to spite
and
you.
cleared the air.
Just to spite Alex.
But the cool thing is Alex has, like, even with the A12 and like the F12 programs, he's really separated himself. But that's all that counts at the end of the day. Is you got to be unique, and there's always more stuff to learn.
You're
Can you
building a
imagine what
brand.
this FF sounds like?
I was gonna ask him to start it, but I was like, now let me refrain from it. As soon as I saw the wheels and I was like, Gintani put his hands on it, I was like, fuck, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
I really do want to hear it badly.
It's all
what-
about piping size, man. Shit, make it loud. What?
You make what would you say your primary markets are? BMW. I know
A lot of
it's huge for
BMW
you
stuff,
guys.
a lot of G80s, yeah. But the problem is the BMW people love the BMW people, but I like the BMW people who will spend money.
Those are your roots. the BMW
Yes,
people.
because here's the thing.
There's a lot of BMW people out here that will
those
spend money.
people who are actually looking
Sig
for a really
Glendale.
good experience and will
Sig
spend the
Glendale.
money, those people are the best people to deal with. They've got incredible builds. They really like the fact that the Valvetronic has separated itself from all this other drop-shipped bullshit, because there's so many brands out there that are competing for the same market share.
Right.
And there's a lot of the drop ship brands who try to claim they're unique. Everyone just copies us. And so I know that other brands, they get upset that when people copy them, I'm like, well, it's a great form of flattery. You got to just keep innovating. So when our G80 system got copied like 2-3 months ago,
Of course, it's going to get.
I have a new
copied.
system. I got a new system coming out that's going to be even better.
Yeah.
And then we'll recapture like the market share that we may have lost from that. And then when they copy that one too, we'll just move on to the next thing.
Because you can't stop them from ordering one,
This
right?
is this is good ads work. You can control that. But what we find too is all these other brands, sound has become such an important touch point, especially as people try to take it away with this whole turbocharging and the Porsche 992 going turbocharged. You've lost all the sound. You get the intake sound in the car, but it's kind of gone. As people have tried to take that away with emissions regs and turbocharging, everybody has tried so hard and is now comfortable spending a lot of money for the best exhaust configuration because they want a unique experience. I can tell in a video if it's a Valvetronic exhaust on a G80 or like just a regular just single mid pipe. Like, 'cause you get certain sound tones, you're like, that's a Valvetronic setup. That sounds more unique. So that is a primary market. But those people who want to spend the money, they will get the best experience from us because they're not. I don't want to deal with deal shoppers. If you're a deal shopper, go buy an AliExpress.
Yes.
Go buy Alibaba because you're not interested in the service aspect of what it is. Quite frankly, look at the shop that we're in. Could I slap some PPF on my car and drive around? Hell yeah. Is it going to be nice? Fuck no. It's going to be terrible. But this is why it costs money to put PPF on the car. This is why it costs a lot of money to engineer the best exhausts. And that's, I think, people forget the real costs of the money they're saving. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing.
When something breaks,
Yeah.
Who do you call? People go,
Actual cost of
oh, I
ownership.
can just charge it back my credit card. Like, you might get the money back on your first statement, but they're going to keep emailing American Express. Because I tried this. Trust me, dude. I've seen how this stuff works. I ordered something as like a test because I wanted to see in the mind of the consumer. I bought an AliExpress exhaust and I went through the process and I bought it. And then I tried to reach out because I've documented this whole process. I tried to reach out for fitment issues, no response. Tried to reach out to the credit card company. I got my statement money back, but then they said the item was fulfilled, no problem. Alibaba puts up a wall. You can't charge back against a massive company like that. You're going to lose because they have processes in place to defend against it. Because they know all Americans are they really try to mess around with that stuff.
They try to scheme
Yeah,
the
yeah,
system
of
out.
course.
Try to scheme, of course. And we deal with some situations as well where
people out there trying to do way more than charge back an exhaust on Alibaba for sure.
What kills me too
That
is
ain't
you're
nothing.
already at a competitive price.
I don't think our prices are bad. Yeah.
No, not at
I
all.
think our
That's what
prices
I'm saying.
are
You're already
quite
at a
fair.
competitive price. So the
Yeah.
fact that people still feel the need, and again, to each their own, the consumer's mind is always different.
Yeah.
They feel the need to even try to bargain or go less than that.
Well, we do have problems for sure. Like I was dealing with a situation with we move a ton of units, but we had an RS6 that kept going back and forth to the shop. It was actually a 412, and they would fix it, and then we would have another something touch or something. And I just said, well, customer, we'll send you a new exhaust. He's like, I don't have time to deal with it. I was like, okay, like no problem. I'll send you a credit for your system that you purchased because of the money you had to pay Joseph to fix it. So we sent it, and then this was in December. Guy hasn't contacted us for 5 months. I get a $6,000 chargeback. I'm like, what? Where did this come from? And if somebody really has an issue and they can't get a hold of us and they've been reaching out to us and they have a problem, I guess I understand. But for a situation like that, like we've been very transparent, happy to help you. You need a new system, no problem, we'll send it out. For someone just to deny that, really? You're driving an RS6, it's not a Civic. Like clearly you must have done something right in your life to have that $120,000 station wagon. But that's, again, we talked about, as this conversation opened, dealing with people.
That's it.
That's all it
RS6
is.
is great.
There's such a wide spectrum.
You're going to make fun of the RS6. Also, that RS6 is getting lemoned, so don't you worry.
Who's RS6?
That RS6.
That RS6.
Nothing. I don't want to get into it.
We're making a joke.
Don't worry
Oh,
about it.
okay. Sorry.
That's okay. We're right over here. It's fine.
No, there's only exhaust noise up here. There's no other brand.
We're in the lemon capital of the world.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you
You
familiar
elaborate?
what a lemon is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. We're right
Yeah.
now. We're most lemons per capita right now. Where we're at.
Why?
The
Maybe we talk about this later.
yeah. I was saying maybe this might be an off camera.
This might be a
Cool,
sushi
cool, cool.
conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, sushi.
Have you ever noticed all the Montana license plates on the supercars and classic cars at a Cars and Coffee and wonder why that is? Well, Montana has 3 huge benefits. It's a state with no sales tax, low registration fees, and no smog restrictions, so you don't have to be worried about all those modifications you want to do. Now, you don't need any inside knowledge or property in Montana. MontanaTags.com will literally do everything for you step by step to set up your Montana LLC and get your new car registered under it. I just went through this process with these guys myself, and it only takes a couple minutes. Always make sure to follow your state and local laws and visit montanatags.com/supercarconnection or click the link in our bio to get started today.
Here's a question that I know he has in his back pocket that he's dying to ask, so I'm going to ask it first.
Rip it.
But I'm dying to know what you think the best sounding car is.
Would you consider yourself like an
judge the fuck
exhaust
out of you.
sommelier?
Let's break this question down more. When you think about sound that matches a vehicle's persona, you get certain things like the Maserati V8 sounds really good because it, compared to the rest of the car is kind of lackluster. The sound is cool. But when I think of like the best sounding car, the high pitched exotic stuff is kind of accessible. This is a bizarre take, but stuff like the Gordon Murray T50 and stuff like the Pagani, like the Huayra R or something, or the Zonda R, excuse me. Those cars are extremely, extremely impressive. But when my favorite sounding car, I like stuff that just doesn't make any sense. So I have a base 2.7 Boxster, a 987.1 that I bought for 10 grand. And we put an equal length full exhaust on the car with equal length manifolds, catless, or should say catless, free flow over axle pipes, and like this wild rear section where it comes together, then does this really long X pipe up, and then comes down and comes out. That car has barely 200 horsepower, and it's 130 decibels loud. It is the loudest. It's like Aventador straight piped loud, and it is so slow but so fun. So the noise is just so ridiculous that I think that sounds really good. The Maserati V8 is quite good just because the way it interacts with the transmission, I like, because you can smash off the rev limiter. It goes wa-da-da-da. That's interesting.
You're talking about like the Gran Turismo, like MC and stuff?
Yeah, so those cars sound really good. What else?
I'm judging him so hard off his answers. Yeah.
The Maserati is a great sounding car.
It's decent.
What do you think?
Great sounding car.
Yeah, the best.
To be honest with you, I'm pretty basic with my shit, but I like. You want me just to go in general, or like V8, V10, V12?
Do V8, V10, V12.
I'm a 458 whore. I'm not gonna lie to
Okay.
you. When it comes to the V8, I really
Yep.
don't think there's a better sounding car than that. Especially if you can get a straight pipe. Fucking thing sounds like
Yep.
an F1 car.
But there's an interesting way to straight pipe those cars. You need the headers. You know why?
Why?
Because the headers from factory are 4 to 2 to 1. But we make equal length headers, which are 4 to 1, and that really helps the sound.
So it amplifies even more.
It doesn't make the car louder. It changes. You get way more high pitch.
The tune.
Because when everything comes together at the same point, it's much better.
Have you seen the 12 to 1 that on this new Koenigsegg X designer.
Oh
slash
yeah,
Bugatti
I've not
X
heard what it
designer.
sounds like. But this is the cool thing is, we thought that
They call it the snake pit.
Yeah, we thought that all the noise was going to go away with all these emissions regs and all this stuff. It's coming back. Everybody wants these naturally aspirated, high revving.
Yeah, 100%. No one wants this bullshit with this turbocharge, all this crap that everything's happening, bro.
Well, that's why That's why we made our exhaust for the 720 the certain way with the double X pipe, is because sound is a touch point. Do you ever have a girl ask you like, why is it loud? And you have to explain it to them.
Yeah.
But you really look like you're mansplaining. But
Right.
if you really break down what's important with driving, sound is such a big thing. And
Huge.
if a car
Huge.
doesn't have it, I'm almost not interested in that car.
Literally.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I got rid of my 720 because like I didn't have enough time.
Damn.
I got rid of it so quickly too.
You didn't know me, brother.
No,
I wish
I-
you came for a ride in my car. My car sounded like a fucking 458.
No, trust me. I wish I would. As soon as you said that, I was trying to picture it. And I go, how the fuck did you get it to sound like that? Because don't get me wrong, base 720 in track
Was yours a
mode.
Spider or a coupe?
Coupe.
That's a problem.
Yeah, I know.
Need a Spider.
Spider is freaking
Need a
sounds
Spider.
insane. I didn't know. Again, I didn't know. But it
He wanted the doors
I did want the doors. I did like the doors like that.
that have the roof
I like
panels.
the-
That's all I wanted.
The doors do the same thing.
No,
don't have the
there's a
roof
different
panels.
Yeah,
aesthetic.
I guess you're right.
There's a
you're
different
right.
aesthetic
Yeah,
when they open
yeah.
like that.
Well, everyone's allowed to have an opinion. You're wrong, but that's okay.
I try to tell him this is
Okay, so the V8 thing I get, I think V10 you're going to say pre-LP Gallardo.
no, he's not gonna say
No?
I'm not gonna say that.
You're going to say LFA?
Definitely
No,
not
I'm
gonna say
definitely not gonna say that
LFA.
bullshit.
You're going to say Viper?
No, not even.
E60 M5?
I don't know what he's
Not
gonna
even
say.
that. Bro, V10 do the Huracan.
Oh,
Huracan?
see,
Yeah,
you're
bro, I'm basic,
such
Bro,
a-
that's
It's beautiful.
No,
It's so timeless. It's so perfect.
The sound?
Yeah,
Damn.
that's it.
he doesn't know anything about V10s. That's
Clearly, bro. Get
Hey-
this guy now.
Hate on me for that.
Well, so here's
Here's what I'm not into some weird ass M5 motor from back.
I don't
in
know
the
if
day.
you've,
no,
I don't
the
know if you've
M5
caught
motor's
on to this
actually not
yet,
that
but
good.
tonight I'm on Austin's team.
But have you?
Let the white boys be on that side and do your
Facts,
thing.
bro. What do you mean?
That's
You're
fine.
white
Shit.
too.
I'm Cuban.
Here we
Don't
go.
get it twisted.
The reason, maybe
Not
the
Nantucket
maybe
over
the Huracan thing is.
you want a better answer?
No, I know what you're going to say, and it's going to be correct. But let me explain. I'm going to justify your
I
answer
want to know.
for
What
you.
I'm gonna say. I want to know.
The Huracan, I think, is that sound. If that car wasn't around a lot and you didn't see them all the time, it'd be more cool.
For sure. I mean,
But-
yeah, people say that.
Also, too, anybody who puts an exhaust on like their Huracan Evo or Performante is dumb because it makes the car quieter. Actually,
I don't know.
no, the car has a factory straight pipe.
Constantine's is definitely louder.
He probably did cat deletes.
He did. Yeah, it's catback titanium.
Oh.
No. If it's catback titanium, it's not. Yeah, a lot of those cars have like valve configuration changes where like the Performante is fine, Evos are fine, but like STOs and Technicas, they don't open the valves. They open the valves at like 5,000 RPM.
Stupid.
We sell a valve controller to fix that, and you can't rev the cars in
Neutral.
stationary.
No.
They don't rev. It's very bizarre.
They got a rev limiter on them or what?
No, like you can't rev over like 3,000 RPM when you're stationary. But
That's like all the Porsches.
yeah, well, actually, if we go back to like Secret Weapon Fab did an exhaust for the R8s.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking. That fucking shit sounds.
So
insane.
We made a
so
reel.
you're
We
talking
made
about
a
that.
reel about this exhaust like
Okay, so
last week.
there you
2
go.
weeks ago.
But that car sounds like a pre-LP Gallardo. It sounds like a 5-liter Gallardo. So
He
you're,
doesn't really- he
you're
doesn't
saying
really
you're
know
saying
what
a
those sound
regular
like.
Huracan.
I really don't.
You're saying a regular Huracan doesn't
I'm
sound
talking
like
about just that motor in general. What you can do with those V10s. Is what I'm saying.
What's my answer for the V10?
yours is probably LFA. Carrera GT. Yeah, that's my favorite car. That's
GT.
when I sell that GT3, I'll get that. That's what I want. It's great.
Carrera GT.
CGT. Just because I
Carrera
like
GT
that.
is one of the most timeless,
Yeah.
perfect car designs.
There's a guy named Raul. I forget what his name is. He's based in
I
Monaco.
don't know how you can hate on that car.
Huh?
Him.
Oh,
He just
you're not going to fit. Bro, no,
wants to
take the
hate
roof off.
everything
We'll slot him in. Just
that body line
there.
that just goes flat all the way down
All
the
the way
car.
You like that? You like that?
It's
this
like,
is why you guys are
it's
a good
my
dynamic
favorite
duo.
design
Because
element.
if you guys agreed on everything, you guys would be boring.
What's funny is we'd
Exactly.
agree on a
Thank you,
lot of
by the way.
things.
I appreciate
Yeah,
you
the
saying
things
that.
that we
Boring,
don't-
I appreciate
The things
it.
that we
Yeah.
don't agree on, we really don't agree
Yeah.
on.
No, but that's
Exactly.
fair. But the Carrera GT, there's this guy named Raul. He's based in Monaco, and he's always drifting his around. He's a silver one. He's always sliding it everywhere, and I'm like, that's gonna be me.
What color do you
Dead
want?
ass.
Just absolute idiot.
I would like a red one, which I will probably wrap it red. And the reason why is, and I can show you this, the first photo on my phone is a picture of a red Carrera GT on HRE P101s in like this kind of white background thing. That was like the first picture that was ever on my phone. 2013,
The first picture ever.
yeah.
2013. So you're about to make that shit a reality.
I wish I knew what the
Hell yeah.
P101
Trust.
was by heart.
The P101 is your very standard 5/10 spoke Y split wheel from HRE. It's like very
It's not something
kind of like
that.
this. Why did I point at a car that you can't see?
I know what you're talking about.
You can see everything else, but not the wheel.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
So
You know the HREs now that they've been putting on them that are like the
I'm not a fan of
like,
three-piece wheels.
The heritage Porsche.
Let's have an argument.
I'm also not a fan of three-piece.
Don't like
wheels.
three-piece wheels.
I'm not a
I
huge
think
fan.
you're doing too much.
Yeah, always doing too much. All those bolts.
Don't
Why do we need all those
don't
bolts?
like three-piece wheels.
Yeah.
Heavy.
They're heavy.
But
too. Even with a
I
carbon
would like to
barrel?
make some carbon wheels for my GT3.
That'd be
be cool.
sick.
But I would do like
That
you don't
car
do
needs
wheels.
all the help it can get.
no, I don't do wheels, so I'll have to pay somebody to make wheels. But I think the best wheel, and I've found this lately, 5-spoke wheels like Advan GTs on supercars. Like my McLaren had a factory set of 720S LM wheels, which I ended up sourcing from the 720S LM.
I love those wheels.
It was nasty. It's very JDM look on that car. It was very
Which
cool.
there's I'm not gonna say who did this, but there was someone was just posting a P1 that they did with the LM wheels,
Oh, okay.
and
Is it like a Lanzante thing?
just looks perfect. No, not Lanzante.
Okay.
It was an RDB post.
That's stuff. That's
RDB
that.
just puts.
I met him today.
Vic.
Yeah, met him. Cool guy. Yeah,
Where? Where? You
I just showed up to the
swung
shop.
by?
I just drove up.
You're like, what's up?
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Always with me. I will walk in anywhere and I'll go, hi.
How you doing?
Not even how you doing. It's just hi. That's the best way to disarm anybody. It's just hi. So
Hi.
funny.
I'm here from Nantucket.
Or you walk up to a girl and you go, sorry, I'm late. They go,
For what?
for what? Yeah,
date.
that is really funny. Top tip, use that. Sorry, I'm late.
Oh, dude, Austin from Boston. Austin from fucking Boston.
Yeah, you're putting us through a loop here.
You are. And
What
then,
did you ever say your
I was
the
gonna
best
say-
sounding car?
No, he didn't get to that.
You really dogged that one.
I'm
You
trying.
guys
I'm
are
avoiding this question because I
V8,
feel
tell
like
you.
everybody.
Let me tell
is-
you. One thing I'll
V8,
tell you.
V10, V12, rip it.
I'll tell you right now. You're very well media trained. I will tell you that.
Yep.
You know how to spin words.
Yep.
You know how to conversate. You know how to pull my. I ask you one thing. You pull my attention over here.
I'm telling you,
while
dude.
I'm waiting over here.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. Trust me, I like you a lot.
took-
man.
he
I
took
like you a
Will's
lot.
course.
He did.
Yeah, bro, I paid for that. That's why he has R8. Love Will. So, my favorite.
No one gets more shout outs on this show than Will.
My favorite
We'll
V8.
get so much free clout.
Dude, this is so challenging.
Bro, you fucking do this for a living. How is this hard? What are you
Because there's
talking about?
so much information in my head,
Exactly.
bro.
You should know these answers to be dialed in.
It's just interesting because do you go like flat plane V8 or do you go cross plane?
Whatever you like the most.
The 458 I think is very flat sounding. I don't.
What do you think about the new Z06?
Very cool. Very cool.
I have mine outside. We can check it out after this.
Do you have exhaust?
No, I don't.
I know a guy.
Do you?
I'll play you a video. Best
Perfect.
sound by far.
Perfect. I'm looking for an exhaust system set up on that.
Good. I have them in stock, unlike everyone else. You can buy one and get one actually.
Do your exhaust need tunes?
No.
They're just bolt on.
Yeah.
Plug and play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like some of the stuff that we sell with some freer flowing components
Sure.
might need a tune.
Shouldn't you have a tune on something like that though?
Here's where the tuners are going to get very upset with me.
That's a great question. Do you need a tune
I think-
every time you put on an exhaust?
A catback, no. But like if you're doing like a free flow, like a race configuration, sure. But it depends on what you want to do. Like a lot of people, they do like race catless downpipes and shit because they want flames. And they call Alex and they go, yo, man, I need flames. And then he does it because he's the guy. But if you don't necessarily need that and you can deal with a little yellow light on your dash, I don't know. It's just one of those things where I have to say I'm on one side of the fence because every single car I have has a check engine light, but I know what it's for, so it's okay.
Right.
But if there's ever, do you just have to run your codes all the time?
If the car just stops working, I know like, oh, that's a different problem
You
now.
low key feel it though. Like when you have the check engine light, when you get a car that the check engine light's consistently on, you can start driving it. You'll feel when there's a different problem, or you feel that shit.
Yeah,
There's a
but I
feel
also
for
say
it.
too, like now the tunes have gotten so sophisticated. Like my 720, I made a set of downpipes for the car that we developed and engineered in house that had, I can't really. They had a certain configuration inside them, which they were free flow, no restriction, but they did not throw a light. I can't really talk about how that worked, but the car did not have a tune, and the car ran flawlessly. But I was convinced by a friend of mine to tune the car. Do I regret it? Absolutely not, because the car just got faster and the flames got bigger and it was great. But besides that, I feel like a lot of people have a healthy disregard for tuning the cars, but they want the sound. So also, like the car that's behind you right now is absolutely ridiculous to figure out in terms of tuning and OPFs and all the stuff that goes on with this car. It's ridiculous. 296, SF90s, F8s, they're so
Ferraris?
confusing. Yeah, because they've made it so challenging to unlock the cars. And
Ferrari.
I don't know. Dude.
Ferrari.
Why doesn't Ferrari sell a V12 manual supercar for 500 grand that everybody would buy?
You know, that's a great question because they would sell out.
They make more money selling keychains than they do selling cars.
Yeah. If they made a
He's not lying either.
No,
he's not.
yeah.
Keychains.
If they made a manual V12 car, say a run of 1,000.
But I feel like the new
would
car
sell out
buyer, like who actually
instantly.
buys those cars? I don't think they're real drivers. Like, look at who's buying all the manual LP640s. Those are real drivers. But the people who ordered those cars weren't real drivers. They all bought paddle shift cars.
Well, yeah, things have changed a lot, I feel like.
Think about it today.
'Cause you hear
if you could walk into a dealership and buy a brand new Mercy, what do you think the split would be in terms of manual versus fucking shit e-gear? I bet it'd be half and half.
No.
Yeah.
You think more manual?
No, I think the other way. More automatic.
Really?
Yeah, it would still be more automatic.
More automatic, 100%.
But I feel like now people have...
But more so than when they sold them in the 2000s. In the
Perhaps,
in
yeah.
the 2000s, people did not want manual cars.
Bro, I'd be
especially in
with you,
supercars.
the kids that would be buying those cars, the type of money that would be buying that car, they don't want no fucking manual. Be real with you. That's
I guess
that's the only reason why.
That's the problem with the new car buyers.
It's
is
the new generation.
They want
car
the
buyers.
tech.
Bro, they want plug and play. Why are the cars so plug and play? It's because of the new generational buyer that exists.
Yeah, the buyer.
All the
But
cars.
at the same
Honestly, I put
time,
my grandmother in a Huracan.
She'll whip the shit out of
Yeah,
shit.
she whipped.
Like I can hop in your tin can out there and I'll whip the hell out of that thing.
But at the same time,
I love
everything
that.
he was
it's
saying-
a Boxster, bro. It's a Beetle. Oh, I pulled up next to a Volkswagen Beetle and ran out and got a photo of this blue Volkswagen Beetle next to my car, and I was like, "Bro, same car." And he goes, like, he did not.
He's probably fucking lost.
Didn't know he
He's
didn't
so lost.
understand. I don't think he spoke
Wait,
much
wait, wait.
English. But
You're telling me you pull up next to it, you parked your car, you got out.
it was at a light.
At a light.
I've never jumped to actions fast. I was on the money.
Yeah, he's cracked out.
Car in park.
He's cracked out.
Get out.
he didn't even consider it.
No.
He just pulled up. It wasn't
It was
like,
like
should I do this? It was just instinctual.
It was a,
It was
oh,
out of
cool.
the car.
Like the car, man. We match. Hey. That's it.
I love it so much.
Interact with people in California as always. You don't know who's gonna pull up next to you.
No, it's a good or bad thing though. You don't know. Who's
Good and
gonna
bad
come
thing.
next to you.
Very much
Yeah.
good and bad thing. This guy was. I didn't think he was gonna put out RPG at me.
Well, if he's a guy in a blue Volkswagen Beetle, you're say that you're fine.
Yeah, mustache, safe.
Oh, really? Nice. Hold on.
But just mustache though. I was like, damn, this guy can be trusted.
Yes.
What you were saying earlier, though, about like, people going after the sounds, going after the naturally aspirated, everything like that.
Yeah.
And even the manuals making kind of a comeback. Like all of that is, I think, a result of everything's becoming so plug and play.
Everything is so boring. Like, all these new cars. What new car is interesting? With Welto? It's fast.
I haven't totally driven them, but
Well,
But-
Velto's only interesting because it's all new tech. But driving it,
It's no-
like part of
it's-
the reason why
there's no character is
I'm
the
not gonna
thing.
lie to you. Okay, this is
You've been lying this whole time?
I lie about everything, but I'm just kidding. So
Cut.
one of the things that I haven't had the opportunity to talk about is because I just got this Aventador. I haven't really talked about my driving experience with this car.
It's such an experience.
It's such an experience, but at first I was like, "Fuck, this single clutch,
This
is brutal.
sucks.
It sucks ass.
Sucks, yeah.
Now I kind of like it.
So fun. Have you ever driven a Scud?
No, I haven't.
Everyone says, oh, stick swap the Scud. Nope. The paddle shift is actually,
It's
it's
kinda
so
fucking
bad, it's funny.
Exactly. Like
that's how the Vantage is.
And you
Remember how I
have
was telling you, I was like,
no.
it
You
gives
have
it
to.
something.
It gives
you
it some
genuinely
sort
have
of
to
character.
work around the car's flaws, and that makes it interesting. This is why I
The
think
first time I drove it and switched first to second gear, and it went.
you're like up. This,
That was a gear change.
yeah.
Well, I'm telling you.
The
So then you-
gearbox really has to think about. Oh my god. Am I a traffic cone?
Exactly.
Am I a folding table?
I feel like-
Am I
I
a
feel like
cruise
I
missile?
literally-
No, I'm a transmission. Let me
I
shift.
feel like I body surfed a wave
Yeah.
when I shifted.
telling you. So then you take the Rivelto, right? Okay, cool. New tech, it's gonna be great. That dual clutch, I've only heard is fucking insane. But then again,
but it's insane. It's not fun.
It takes away from the experience,
Not-
and this
not
is
at
partly
all.
why I think again the Aventador, even though the Rivelto is going to be crazy, it's going to be fast, going to be crazy. The Aventador is still going to be the pinnacle because in terms of driving experience,
Yeah.
that shit's going to be so hard to replicate because they're not going to go back in the technology.
It is funny, like,
to replicate
it-
that.
If I sell that GT3 and I want another one, what will I go and buy? I'm interested for what you guys. It's another Porsche. Which one will I go buy? Not a Carrera GT.
Before that answer, that's part of what I love about the Huracan is while it's so plug and play and easy, it's like it's got a rowdiness about it.
No, it doesn't.
You don't think so?
I think you're wrong.
I think I'm right.
But STO.
Everyone's entitled to an opinion.
Yes. STO, yeah.
Yours is wrong.
No, mine's not wrong. You are wrong. But I think like an all-wheel drive Huracan is not that interesting, personally. But like a rear-wheel drive Huracan, like a LP580 or like STO I was very impressed.
We drove a rear-wheel drive Evo, and it was a lot of fun.
Okay, so that's fun because the car is actually loose because the car's not spools, but the car has such good throttle response. It's lively. But the all-wheel drive car is just so fast.
Yeah,
but if I were to sell my GT3, I would go buy a 997.1 RS instead of that car because I'd like a manual. I'd like a
997.1 RS, gray with all of the guards red. Wheels.
I would do
mirrors,
I would do a white one with black, or I would do.
Because that's the generation that had like that sort of livery.
Well, you can actually get that on that car.
Yeah,
you can.
Yeah.
But I think
has it.
that's ultimately foul.
Doesn't it have that gray with red?
Yeah.
Like I could have gotten
It's
my
just a
car
little
with red
different.
wheels.
Yeah.
Then I really looked like a hairdresser.
But did it also come with red mirrors?
You already looked.
And then the red lipstick on the
I
front?
could have brought it to Limitless Auto Body, Rob, and had him paint the mirrors.
Or you could have brought it to Unique Auto Film.
And they would have maybe wrapped the mirrors.
Or you could bring it to me and I'll do it too.
Well, that's right. What is your business?
We got options.
What's the
The
name?
name?
Yes.
ICS Auto Body.
ICS.
Yes. But
Joe,
Bring it there.
Joe will paint it. He'll spray it down real quick for you.
I don't do like any custom work. That's my
I feel
problem.
like there's not, unless you're really, really good at custom work, there's no money in custom work.
Exactly.
You got to be doing $100,000 builds every other day.
I do only collision work. I don't have time for
Joe
custom.
flips Rex Corollas.
People be smashing shit up, dude. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the Capitol smashing shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty outrageous.
I
I'm in
rear-ended in my
Hollywood, too.
4C. It was sad. Guess who took care of me?
You had a 4C?
This guy. Yeah.
I didn't know you were lesbian. Wow.
That hurts.
Air 5. Was it
Back
fun?
on your
Was it cool?
That was a good one.
What do you mean?
Was it cool?
You don't deserve an answer.
I'm not looking for one. I'm just looking for your opinion. I don't
It
even
sounds
answer.
like you're looking for one.
Genuinely though, I'm interested because I've not experienced that car.
Okay,
You've
know
never
why it's
experienced
funny?
that car?
Because you're the first person to diss him for having that car. Everyone's always been like, "Damn, that's such a cool that's a cool fucking car," and then you're the first person that
That's interesting. Why wouldn't you go buy a 981 Cayman?
Because it doesn't look
Because
as
no one
cool.
wants a freaking Porsche, bro. Those things suck anyway.
it's a Cayman.
These cars suck, bro. Absolutely the worst. There's no
How was it?
reason why Porsche is probably the most respected brand on this earth.
A real answer.
We can talk about this. You want to get into that too?
We'll think about it.
It drives like nothing else.
It's
What it
very
comes down
light.
to. It's extremely light. It's got the
is
carbon
unique.
monocoque.
It's very
Another
unique.
reason why SUVs
And a
are
carbon
shitty is
tub.
just because it's the same car but just heavier. But like if you lightweight stuff, the carbon tub, you can hide everything.
It farts when you shift.
I fart too, but so it's a
like-
GTI. It's a Golf GTI. It's a Golf GTI.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's fun. It's unique. Straight pipe.
So you
Not
did-
straight pipe, but
Okay.
there's a cat.
Well, yeah, out of the factory, that and like the
No muffler.
the Abarth are so loud. Like I don't know
It's
how
very weird.
How is that like a real thing?
I don't know.
No mufflers on that car. None.
None.
Like I looked.
It's literally a white pipe.
Yeah,
just right out of the
a
cat.
customer asked. He's like, "Hey, I've got an Abarth. Like, do you do exhaust?" I'm like, "We'll just use our universal muffler." I looked under it and I'm like, "Can't help you. There's no space. It's just like
There's nothing to do.
a Y." But
Yeah.
the best sounding V8. I'm sorry, I'm all
We're still
over the
on
place.
this. Yeah, you haven't even answered this question.
Let's do V10 first. V10, I would say pre-LP Gallardo, and the reason why is because the way it interacts with the transmission, the gears are so long that when you shift from like
What is pre-LP 08? 04 to 08?
04 to 08, it's the 5-liter cars, the even firing cars. So that car, I think, and then like the best sounding V12.
It's actually crazy that that's your answer. It's not crazy that's your answer. It's crazy how cool and how advanced those gears were, like how long they were
Yeah.
before the computer and the timings were as advanced they are now. Because now they can manipulate gears to the fucking extent that they want. Back then,
I'm not following what you mean.
what do you mean? Like
Oh,
you're
do
talking
we
about how
ever-
long the gears were.
Do we ever follow what he means?
No, well, so sometimes I'm trying here. It's a new friend. In this.
We're trying to bond right now.
But the reason
we have good points and we bash our heads.
We were
together.
friends, now we're enemies. Now y'all are trying to become
Okay.
friends.
the reason the 5-liter Gallardo sounds the best is because you actually have a lot of revs to play with. This is why, an interesting take here, an E92 M3 with dual clutch transmission sounds completely different from a car that has a manual because it has one extra gear. And that's the same reason why a manual G80 M3 sounds totally different than an automatic. It's because the speed at which you go through the revs can determine like your amount of exotic sound. So the pre-LP Gallardo, even like an E-gear one, sounds so interesting because you get so many different sound tones throughout the RPM range. The Zonda R and like the Gordon Murray T50 are very cool, but they're just peaky. They sound like Formula One cars. To me, a Formula One car is actually not that soulful of a device. It sounds crazy, but the best sounding things have a lot of character, like the 6.3 or 6.5 in the early Mercies, or like an LP640 Mercy. That car I think is the best sounding in terms of V12. So I'd say that for V12, that for the Gallardo for V10.
Mercy SV, fan of that
Mercy
song?
SV, yeah. I drove Randy Savage, RIP. I drove his, and I drove it like I was cracked the fuck out. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Spitting flames. It was
I
crazy.
think it's a Hertz rental car.
Yeah, it was amazing. Best sounding V8 though. I feel like part of me wants to go like American, but
That's the whole thing. What tone is the best?
C7 Z06.
You can go a lot of different directions.
C7 Z06 is cool. Like the really heavily chopped like Camaros and Corvettes are cool. I'm just trying, like there's so many engines that I'm just thinking about.
Some idiots will say those 5.0 Coyote motors sound pretty damn decent.
Yeah.
I
don't know.
That's not mine. Those Coyote, the Ford Coyote motors, the 5.0s, the ones that are in the GT Mustangs.
The 5.0s, but everyone puts headers on those cars and they sound raspy as shit. So this is why the Valvetronic exhaust, when we developed it on a car with headers because we know everyone's going to do it. It has a center H pipe that has a resonator casing around it. So the car sounds really good. It sounds like a GT350, but it's not raspy. So it actually just sounds clean and smooth. It's not like, no offense to the other exhaust companies, but like Corsa and MBRP and Borla, they're just so loud and it's like grating teeth, like nails on a chalkboard. They're so raspy when you do headers. But everybody does headers. So that's why we made ours resonated. But I don't think it's that.
Exhaust sommelier, I'm telling you.
Huh?
Exhaust sommelier.
Exhaust sommelier.
Yeah. That should be your new @ on Instagram.
Do you know what a sommelier is?
No.
Bro, like a wine sommelier?
wine
the guy
sommelier?
that comes to you and describes
Oh.
wine to you? You're an exhaust sommelier.
Wow. I will be purchasing that Instagram handle tonight. Do not buy. It's already taken.
Well,
As you
guess
see
what?
As you see this come out.
Yeah, you got a week to
Dude,
get it
wow.
done.
I'm going to try to think about this.
I'm gonna go lock that
in
down.
Like another,
Honestly, I'm taking that.
in like another section of this conversation we can move on because I'm going to agonize over this for the next hour. Maybe we'll cut to a clip at the
Bro,
end
just
of
say
this.
the C806 and let's get past
The C806 again is very flat sounding. Like the cars are cool,
Flat plane.
but I feel like
You think it's flat sounding?
it has one sound tone.
Really?
It's just exotic.
You want something that goes.
I want something that has like that really, and it's probably a car.
Like, how about the
that,
GT4 RS? The way
that's a
that.
six-cylinder?
No.
Yeah,
I
but
didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, but
I mean,
so
as an
okay, so,
example,
like-
something that changes pitch as you go up. The last like 2,000 RPMs of that, the entire
everything,
sound of the car
everything, yeah,
changes.
fizzes and changes. Yeah, so I can agree with that. Like those are very cool, but I would say like for V8s, probably the Maserati V8. And actually, I'll explain why now I'm confirmed this is my final answer. Jeopardy. Is I remember I used to play this video. It was a Japanese video of a white Maserati Quattroporte 4.7S that had this wild exhaust on it. And I remember it was 2 minutes long, and I listened to this video all the time. And it was the best, even when I was like 14, I would listen to this video. So that's my final answer, Maserati 4.7 V8, is I think the best sounding V8.
Fair enough. Works for me. I think it's a great sounding car.
It
He
is.
going to be anti-Maserati, so it is what it is. But
Well, we can be anti the brand. We just don't have to be anti the engine.
That's the problem. Yeah. For me, it's hard to get
Did
past
you know
all
that engine was the basis of the Ferrari F430?
Did you
It just
know
has
that? Did you know it's actually a Ferrari engine?
No, it is.
No, I know.
Yeah, but
Right, but did you know that?
But did you know that?
no, I know. I know everything.
Did you know it's
Bro,
actually a
trust.
Ferrari engine?
Yes. It says Ferrari on it. Actually, I built the engine, so it's sick. No, but that's the same engine, just one has a cross-plane crank and one has a flat-plane crank.
Yeah. But that's always the joke that every Gran Turismo owner will tell.
Oh,
you.
it's a Ferrari engine. The Ghibli,
Ferrari
too.
engine.
Yeah. and the Dodge Dart, which is based.
Yeah.
Dude, what is going on with car design and these bringing back old names and just absolutely turning that name into an absolute dumpster fire?
That's a great question.
I just don't get it. It's
What's
just-
what's been the
running out of
biggest
shit.
offense?
What's this new Dodge that's out? I think it's the, not the Dart, it's something else. It's like the, I don't know, it's some like mid-size crossover SUV shitbox.
The Hornet.
That,
Yeah.
the Hornet.
The Dodge Hornet.
Yeah, that is just an absolute dumpster fire.
The Chevy Trailblazer.
The Trailblazer's been around for a
Hey.
grip though. That's all right.
Hey,
And you see some Trailblazer.
Batman Chevys. Don't,
Or the Blazer. No, what's the tiny one?
the Trailblazer.
It's Trailblazer.
The Trailblazer. Don't Batman.
No. It's something.
The
It's something else.
Trailblazer was a Trailblazer,
No,
and now it's
Yo,
a 3-cylinder
I got
little.
it. I got it. Trax. That's what it is. It's the Trax.
The
What,
Chevy
what
Trax.
was a Trax? I don't know the
I
old
don't know.
Trax.
But that's just. We're just now just getting on the topic of absolutely
No,
rubbish.
so there's Chevy Trax
rubbish
is not an
vehicles.
older car. Chevy Trax is a new design. That is some dog shit. It's some dog shit. It doesn't know what it wants to be.
What is your? I'm sorry. What is your guys' favorite concept car that never went into production?
Fuck, that's a good question.
I'm gonna go with the Lamborghini Estoque.
That's a good choice. I'm going to
because
say
it's at the top
the
of my
most
mind right
interesting
now.
concept car that actually would have been really cool would have been that the Chrysler Me 412
Yeah, that was
from
a
like
cool
the
car.
early 2000s with
Yeah.
those crazy taillights. The only reason why I remember this car is because I played it in Midnight Club,
Yeah, the Me 412.
the dub edition.
Cadillac had one. What was
The
Cadillac's?
really long one.
At around the same time. There was the Me
The 16?
412, and then Cadillac had. It was, I want to say it was a mid-engine car too. Was it Cadillac? I don't know.
The 16 is extremely gangster rap.
Dude, fuck. It's crazy.
He's trying to figure it out.
No,
You know what I
'cause
saw today for the first time?
A girl vagina. Sorry. My bad.
Bro, he's on your ass. I love it so much.
Dude, I can't catch a break. SF90 XX.
Really?
Yeah.
He says all the shit that I wish I could say on the
Dude,
that's
you
why.
can say it.
I've not seen that. Is it
I'm
cool?
living through
It was
Austin
cool.
right now.
Okay.
I mean, it was like behind a gate, so I just literally was
That shit's
driving
bad.
by and like caught it out of the corner of my eye and was like,
That
what?
shit's bad. That shit is really bad.
SF90 XX?
Is that car exciting?
Is it exciting? I think it looks exciting. I don't know how exciting.
Okay, depends on what you deem exciting. Because
Good point.
that car can't put power down that well.
Because the
Is
other
it
thing,
rear-wheel drive only? Or?
No.
No, it's fucking all-wheel drive. But that
all-wheel
thing
it
is
just means
fucking-
it's got too much
It's
power.
too much. It's overdone. So when you say exciting, it's exciting because you feel like you're gonna die. But can you actually enjoy what
Just
the
get
fuck
on a
it is?
sport bike.
Huh?
Like if you want to die, you can do it
Exactly.
for
You don't do
a
some shit
hundredth
like
of the
that.
price.
I
They're
think what it
crazy
comes down
cars.
to, and again, why people are going back to this stuff, everything's getting to a point where it's more than anyone can use.
on the road.
Yeah, it's more
You
than
know what I
any-
daily
more
drive?
than anyone
Take a
can
guess.
use.
What I daily drive most of the time in the summer.
A Ford
Some
Explorer
dumbass
ST,
Explorer. Yeah.
Not Explorer ST.
Some spaceship.
I
Explorer
have
STs got.
I have a convertible vehicle. It's very slow.
a Miata.
Yep.
Wow, he's got a. You're a Miata boy.
I
And you
have
call
an
me the
NA
lesbian?
I have it. No. It takes one to know one. Trust. Listen, I have an
He had the
NA Miata.
audacity.
It's
I
a
regret this
95 pop-up headlights. It's red with a tan interior, and it is the best vehicle of all time. And I bought it for $1,000 out of a ditch. And if I'm financially screwed up enough to where I need to sell the car, my life is over, and I will never sell the car. That's how it's going to be. It's the best car I've ever owned. I've had it for 5 years. And it's only left me stranded once. As I was getting to the airport, and it absolutely exploded. And I pushed it into a temporary parking space and just left it. And I said, impound, come pick it up, and I'll pick it up when I get back from my trip, because I was not going to miss the plane.
he's a 37-year-old blonde Nantucket bartender.
He really is.
I didn't think my hair was blonde today. I forgot to color it. So you would have pigeonholed me a little bit more. But that car is an experience, because it is so slow, and
And what?
it's just fun.
Why
just-
is it fun?
I think that's partly what we're getting.
It-
Sorry, but finish your thing.
It's fun because everything happens at such low speed.
Yeah.
The only way to use the pedals are full brake and full gas. If you go anything other than full throttle, you don't accelerate. And the brakes are good, but yeah, it's so fun. And then in the summer, I don't have any time to go to the beach because I'm always working. I drive shirtless and I get a tan. It's lit.
It's a little vibe.
Yeah. Oh, I look ridiculous.
Shirtless
Look up at
in
the
a
trucks.
Miata.
How's the weather up there? It's bad.
That's funny.
But
It is. I feel like that's part of the thing that we're getting away from nowadays is like everything that's coming out is so just ridiculously overdone to the point where you don't need that type of shit, that you take away from some of the experience of the car that you get from those certain levels.
The RS is a good example. It's an amazing car. It's spectacular. But there's a level of like danger about like a 997 RS, no traction control, like stuff like that. Like that car will reward you from driving well. If you're a shit driver,
the 2RS
It will
back
also dump you.
the 2RS, yeah, like a 996 GT2. You know why that car had so many problems? Is because the car was actually really, really well dialed in, but the car had an oversteering problem because it was so powerful. So what the engineers is they just dialed in a load of understeer. So the car would understeer until it would snap, and you get snap oversteer, and the car would spin you off like a top. So actually, a 996 GT2 with the right suspension and like literally some camber changes in the right alignment rips. It's nasty, so good. But from the factory, they were always like screwed up, and that's why they're called the Widowmaker, is because of the way it was set up.
The Widowmaker.
That's
Not R.I.P. Paul Walker, because that's a different car.
Different car.
Felt somewhat relevant, so
It
we
did
throw it in
feel
there.
somewhat
Shout out
Also,
Paul Walker.
I will own that car too.
Yeah.
996 GT2 and the Carrera GT.
Red, matte black hood,
Well, it's red. No, not Mac Black Hood. Well, didn't Paul Walker? He died in one that was red.
a Carrera
I
GT.
think so,
Yeah.
Yeah. He died in
so-
a red Carrera GT.
Gotta get rid
I was
of
talking about the GT2.
How about
Red GT2, matte black.
No, I think I would like maybe a black GT2 or maybe a white one.
That works.
White would be cool. Yeah, that'd be pretty gangster rap.
What do you think is the most distinctive exhaust? Like 100% of the time, I hear this
Gintani
exhaust. I know
Gintani
what it
SVJ.
is.
How can you compete?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the answer.
that rips by and then boom. Very easy to pick out.
Very easy to pick out. Trying to think of what
I've been at many a shows and hear an Aventador rolling in and go,
Well,
an
also this
Aventador.
was also
sat in
fascinating.
my living room,
Is-
heard an Aventador rip down the highway and go, well, that was an Aventador.
Well, so this is also something that's funny is in terms of sound characteristics, the reason that is so special is because he changed the actual sound quality because of like Star Dropper and these other companies. And I think he talked about that on this podcast. But that was why it was so special, is because he took something kind of flat sounding and loud, but made it a musical instrument. That's very impressive. And that's why I think it's so special, is because people assimilate that sound with Gintani. And quite honestly, we have a system that is similar configuration, very similar sound, half the money, no one buys it. No one buys it. It's because they want the Gintani, and that's it. Doesn't matter that ours is very, very similar. I'm not going to say exactly the same, but it's similar configuration, equal length race pipes and whatnot. Doesn't matter.
It's part of the brand that he's built.
Exactly.
That brand
And
is correlated to that.
he deserves to be celebrated because of that. Because quite honestly, anybody can make a product, but it takes all the marketing skill and intuition to get it to actually pop off.
Yeah.
Like, quite honestly, think about it. Star Dropper and these other companies in Japan have been doing that exhaust sound since 2013. They've been doing that since the car came out. Why has no one had one here? People have had like Star Dropper and stuff sometimes. People have had like brilliant exhaust sometimes, but people don't celebrate it like they celebrate Gintani. It's just the marketing mastermind. That's all that counts.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Marketing
That's all
mastermind.
that counts.
You're really giving him some.
No, you're
I
just
just heard
stroking Alex right now.
I just heard a camera click.
Yeah. Benjamin? That turned off.
One of them, I think, turned.
Heard that too.
What are interesting things we talk about? I feel like we haven't gotten into anything else besides like car stuff. Did you know that?
That's kind of the point.
Well,
we have
no, I
time.
know, but
What do you want? We can go back to whiskey.
I've got some wild stories. Well, the reason I actually got into the Valvetronic stuff, genuinely, is because when I was in high school, I was part of something called What's the Word Mass. And What's the Word Mass is now an Instagram page, but it was a group chat. And it was the group chat of all the town representatives in the Boston area for all the parties. And what would happen is people would put these addresses to parties in the group chat, and we would all go to these parties. So I was like so partied out in high school because we would always go out and do stuff. I didn't really drink. I was always the DD, but I always had a good time.
But the social aspect of it.
Yeah, so I just really enjoyed that. So then I went to college and didn't join a frat, and I was so bored. And that's why I ended up doing the Valvetronic stuff, is because I didn't have anything to do. So So I didn't really have like a normal college experience.
What college did you go to?
I went to Lehigh University in Pennsylvania.
Lehigh, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what makes you you. You're very unique. So I'm trying to piece it together as we go along here.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, now though I live like outside Philly, and it's fine. Like my warehouse stuff is really cool, and the facility we built is badass, and we have access to an airstrip to film our sound clips, which is cool. But it's kind of boring. It's like not a very enticing place to live. So good for car stuff because I mean we bring an event or something out into the sticks, and there's like all the cops like, whoa, this is crazy. We've never seen this. Mm-hmm. So that's fun. But besides that, it's kind of
cop on a horse shits himself when he sees a fucking V12 screaming down the road.
I got pulled over once, and they were so enthusiastic about seeing the car. What was I in? GTVRS 991.2, lizard green, which
Fire.
it's a car that no one had ever seen out there. So I come ripping through a tunnel, and I come out, and I see the cop sitting there, and I'm like, whoop, I'm gonna make a friend. So I stop, and the guy's like, "This is crazy. What is this?" Like, it's Porsche. And so I open the door. I'm like, "Oh, check it out." And so I get out. I'm like, "You should sit, whatever." The best way to disarm police, not actually physically, because don't do that. Go to jail.
Best way to lower the guard of a police?
Yes, best way to get them to like you and not get you in trouble is to just humanize yourself as fast as possible. You want to just be able to snap and have them be able to like to talk to you like your old friends.
So how do you do that?
The best way to do that, honestly, walk up to the car. When they walk up to the car, do everything normal. Dome light on, all the windows, everything, all the windows down. Sunroof open if you can. Make it as bright as possible in there. If anybody has a CCW, put your hands out the window. Hold your hands out the window so they know you're not reaching for anything. What else? When they come up to the window, have your hands at 10 and 2 if you don't have them out the window, but have them at 10 and 2. And they say, "Hello, I'm officer whatever, with the whatever, whoever. You know why I stopped you today?" If they're asking you that question, there's two ways you can go. If you go one way and say, "Oh, I have no idea," you kind of look like an asshole because you usually and they know. Unless it was
They know you know.
Unless it was really not obvious.
Goes, I know, you know,
But-
I know
but-
you know.
Yeah. And,
Do you know why I stopped you?
Yeah. And so, but if you go the other direction and you go, even before the guy shows up to the window, you go, "I'm really sorry, man. That was so dumb. I shouldn't be doing that." You don't even specify what it is. Just say that. Because then they can't lock you down to say, "Oh, you admitted that you were speeding." Like I ripped through the tunnel and that's what I said. I was like, "Oh man, I'm really sorry. Like I can't be driving like that. Or I shouldn't do that." And the guy was like, "No, man, it's cool. Like I've never seen this car before. Like, it's so loud. It's crazy." But the best way to really get them to not like really come after you is you got to be very respectful, very polite, and make sure that the police officer knows that they're in control. So you can say that affirmatively by being like, "Officer, I just want to make sure to know that you're in full control," or that I just want to make sure that I'm not watching out for your safety. I have a firearm on me, or, "Hey, I'm going to reach into my pocket. It's on my left side. My license is in there. Is that okay? Is it okay to reach at this time?" Just be very clear about what you're going to do, because think about it. This cop has literally no idea who they're walking up to
Very true.
at all. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to walk up to someone random on the side of the road. You don't know if they're having a panic attack. You don't know if they've got drugs on them. You don't know if they have a gun on them.
No clue.
Exactly. So it's always really important to operate yourself that way. And then humanize yourself. Well, what's it been like? Is it super busy today? A lot of people driving like crazy. You can start to humanize yourself. That's the best way I've always found to like get out of things. Not because we're trying to get out of things, but usually we're not doing stuff that's really stupid. Like if you're going 85 and a 65, you can kind of just be like, "Hey man, I'm sorry, we shouldn't be driving that fast." And he's looking at your license and stuff. And then, fumble around a little bit for the registration, or what I always do is I keep the registration in another compartment in the car because it forces me to get out and spend more time with the cop. And like being like so smiley and like, "You like the car?"
It's actually
cool,
my
right?
trunk.
Yeah, all the time. In like the GT3 or in the McLaren, it was always in the trunk.
Yeah.
So I go, "Hey man, I'm sorry, I got to jump out and get it. It's in the trunk."
There's nowhere to put it in.
Yeah, nowhere to put it in there. Then you get out and they go, and I always go, "Isn't this car so cool? Like I've always wanted one. I just got it." And they go,
This guy.
you just smile, because if you're smiling the whole time, it's very hard for someone to be like an asshole at you, unless they're very stern.
Yeah.
Then you kind of got to accept your fate. Like
Yeah, you get the wrong guy.
I'm getting a ticket. I've had a situation once where I could not get this guy to give me a break. Just I had the plate frame on it, no front plate. My I was driving the Boxster, and which is not a very illegal vehicle, no front plate and no back, and I was driving pretty quickly. It was too loud and all this stuff. Guy comes up, he wouldn't give me a break. He was just on me. He comes back like 10 minutes later and goes, "It's your lucky day." And I'm like on the verge of laughing. I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "I don't have any more printer paper to print you a ticket." I'm like, and I just snapped right there, and I was like, "Well, looks you're gonna have to mail me one."
And what did he say?
He didn't end up mailing one. He goes, "I'll think about it." Storms back to his car. It was really funny.
Somewhere out there's a guy ripping a Ferrari. You go, "What do you do for a living?" He goes, "I sell rolls of the paper that cops print tickets on."
And that guy saved me because
My great-grandfather
his supply chain
started the
person
company.
wasn't on the
Terrible.
ball back
Yeah,
then.
they were terrible on
But
the ball.
I've had so many interesting police encounters. I got pulled over.
What's the most interesting police encounter you've had?
I'll walk you guys through it. I was driving my best vehicle, my Miata, with a friend of mine, and he was in a white BMW 535i. And we're driving through the stormy, rainy streets of Boston on a place called Storrow Drive. So we were driving up Storrow Drive, and this kid who's with me, he likes to drive pretty quickly, and so do we. There's no traffic. It's drizzling out. So the Miata, even though it has no power, it's limited slip, and I had really shitty tires on it, so it would slide. So we exit Storrow Drive, which is like a 2-lane, kind of 50-mile-an-hour road, but it's real tight. Exit that through a bridge or through like one of those elevated crossings where the road goes underneath and you can make a turn. So we go through there, and I make the turn. I slide the Miata. It's raining. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's no traffic, and the light was green, so it's totally fine. Slide safely, straighten up, and I keep going. And then I see Mike behind me, my friend who's in the BMW. He doesn't accelerate with me, and I'm like, that's bizarre. So I slow down, and he starts to flash me, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be a problem. And as he flashes me, I see the lights of like a State Trooper Explorer come out from behind him. I'm like, again, I'm going to meet a friend. And I must also preface that I'm driving the Miata with the top down in the drizzle, because I think that's rather amusing to do, because I kind of have a rule that you should never drive that car with the roof down, or roof up, even when it's snowing or raining. It's fun. So the guy comes up from behind and puts his lights on and pulls me over. But the Miata, the handbrake doesn't work. And I was kind of concerned it was having a weird misfiring issue. So if I shut it off, I was afraid I was not going to be able to restart it. So I pull over and stop on this hill, and I'm like waving out of the car because I'm trying to signal to the cop like I can't stop here. And he yells at me and goes, "Put the car on the curb." I'm like, fuck. So I sit the car on the curb, I turn the wheel, and I let the car roll back and touch the curb, turn the car off. And I still have the roof down as I'm getting rained on. Guy comes up to the window. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just having a good time. It's a nice evening. Just wanted to go out for a little ride." And then he's like, "Well, who's the guy in the BMW?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Just like some guy." He's like, "Really? You don't know who that is? The only other car that I've seen for the past 20 minutes, you don't know who that guy is?" Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Yeah. So he's kind of reading me the right act. Like, I saw you slide that corner. Like, you can't do that. Like, it's super dangerous. And I didn't want to push back, but I was kind of like, oh, like, I understand. Like, I thought it was safe because there's no cars, there's no traffic.
You haven't seen anyone in 20 minutes, like you just said.
If I was going to crash, but I understand, officer, I shouldn't be doing that on the road. So in the car, I have like my gym bag, and I have a tub of peanut butter. I was using it as a snack. I was hungry. So this guy he looks in the car and is like, "Is there anything dangerous in the car?" And I go, "No." He goes, "Why is that a jar of peanut butter? Why is that there?" I'm like, "It's peanut butter. You want some?" The guy's like, "No, I don't like peanut butter." Storms back to his car. Then another cop shows up, and he's asking me, because the Miata has Ferrari badges on it. Just don't ask.
Sounds like a side quest.
My friends, they snuck into the paint shop, stuck the badges on when I had the car repainted. They clear coat over them. I can't get them off. Don't ask.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's funny. I got to just roll with it. It's just hysterical. So awesome. This other cop comes up to the window and sees me, because the rain has picked up at this point. He sees me in the car getting rained on. And I'm like, "Hey, officer." And he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm getting pulled over." "What are you doing?" It's like, "Nothing, just here to support my other partner here. There's not much going on this evening." I'm like, yeah, I can see that. And he looks at the peanut butter, and I look at him like, do you want peanut butter too? He's like, who asked you for peanut butter? I'm like, oh, the other guy asked me about the peanut butter. I figured he might want some. He goes, not a peanut butter guy. Like I guess that makes two of you guys then.
Classic
So
Nantucket.
I'm still getting rained on. I asked the cop, I'm like, hey, do you mind sitting in the Miata with me to latch the roof? I could have latched the roof myself, but I just wanted to see if this guy would get in the car. And he did. The Miata is slammed. It's so low. And this guy, he's like probably a 6'2" black dude. He gets in the car and he doesn't fit at all as we're like latching the roof. The guy was super cool though. Latches the roof with me and goes back to his patrol car. And he says, good luck to you. And he leaves. And I'm still waiting for the other cop at this point. So at this point, I've been sitting on the side of the road for like 15 minutes. And I figured the best thing I can do right now, I'm probably going to get a ticket. I was kind of in a bad spot with my license. So I called my attorney 4 times. And he picked up on the 4th time. He's like, Austin, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. This better be good. I'm like, Anthony, I'm on the side of the road. I just got pulled over. I think I'm about to get a bad ticket. I'm going to lose my license because of it. And he goes, well, I don't know. Like I can try to call my state police contact and see if we can figure something out. So he goes, let me call you back. So 5 minutes go by, don't hear anything. He calls you back and says, hey man, I can't get a hold of anybody. No one's on duty that I know. Shit, all right, so we're screwed. As he's on the line, the other cop comes back. He's like, he comes up to the window and goes, hey man, I know that this is what you were doing, but I wrote you only for like not having proper registration displayed on your license plate because I didn't have the lights on the license plate. And I kind of take the ticket from him very like solemnly, and I go, oh man, this is really not good. And he's like, well, what's the problem? And I'm like, oh, I'm kind of in a bad spot with my license. I can't get any tickets for 2 years. If I get any tickets, I'm going to lose my license. This is my business. I make these cool exhaust systems where you can open and close them. So I'm like showing him the valved exhaust in the Miata on the side of the road. I'm like, I do this, and I have a staff of people, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do if I don't have my license. And I've never seen this happen, what is about to unfold. I explain all this stuff. I'm like, so officer, what would you do if you're in my position? Like, I'm going to lose my license. I can't run my business. I'm really in bad shape. He takes the ticket, folds it up in his hand and goes, we're not going to worry about this, but you got to promise me that you're not going to drive like this. Do we have an agreement? I said, yes, sir. He says, you might as well be on your way then.
What's funny is
I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate that. So I roll up the window and I realize I still had the phone on speaker. My attorney's still on the phone. He goes, I'm like, Anthony, did you get that? He goes, you got to be the luckiest son of a bitch I ever knew. Click, hangs up the phone. So that was.
Were you actually in trouble of your license getting suspended?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're telling the truth.
Yeah. No, I wasn't lying.
It's coming from the heart.
But that was one of the better pullover experiences. So
does
That's a one-on-one.
do you employ the same tactics to finagle your way into events? You said you've got some tactics of getting yourself into things.
again, we talked about business. It's dealing with people. You're dealing with people at the door. You got to talk to someone who you think would actually be able to have the authority to get you in to whatever you want. And, you know, you could just kind of stand outside and be like, hey, man, like, what's going on? Like, how's the night been? It's been busy. You know, what's been going on? Oh, like, how long have you run this event for? Have you done this before? Just like, people want to, A, do business with people they like, but also, two, they want to have conversations and interactions with people they like. So just be likable.
That's it.
That's just how you
Don't
get in.
seem like you want something from them instantly.
No.
Just get better.
It's like talking to girls. Just have a conversation.
Exactly.
Like, you want to disarm the 11 out of 10? Just be like, hey.
Treat her like a normal human being.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Because those
And
girls
I-
get
Like,
treated
sorry,
like,
I'm late.
Sorry, I'm late. Dude, use that. That is brilliant. It's so funny. Or like, I love the one where it's like, if you do think you've made eye contact with somebody, how did we go from this to that? But whatever. If you make eye contact with someone, you can go, hey, like, the guy over there at that table really thinks that you're cute. She's going to go like, which one? Then you like walk over and be like, best way to disarm somebody. Because then like, she's either going to really laugh or like turn her back and like laugh as well.
Bro, it all goes down to having a sense of humor. It's the
Yeah,
number one way to
people have
disarm a
people
woman
have
is
sense of
just
humor.
make
Yeah.
them laugh. That's
But-
all you have to do is just make them
It
laugh.
helps that you're from Nantucket.
Yeah, you know, I'm on the
You got the
beach, you know,
flow.
yeah.
If you can wear short shorts, loafers, be tall, have a nice car, and
short
make them
shorts, it's just because I'm extended on this
You
couch.
drive a GT3 RS.
laugh. I'm saying, that's it.
That doesn't work for girls.
No.
It's very bizarre. People say, "Oh, bro, you have a Ferrari, you have a Porsche, you get girls."
They'd rather see
Guys,
the James Bond
bro.
Vantage.
Yeah, they asked me. They go, "Do you got a Gentani exhaust on this?" No, I'm not getting in the car.
Girls are like, that's not Valvetronic.
I am gonna probably do a pink pig livery on my RS. A friend of mine had it on his GT3. We were doing exhaust development on it, and I've never ever gotten more female attention in a car ever. It's a pink Porsche. It was wild.
Like pig pink or foreskin pink?
Or that ruby, what is it called? That
Ruby Star?
No, not Ruby Star. It was like, have you guys seen the RSR, like the actual race car? It's an actual Porsche race car. I saw it at Goodwood for the first time.
Like Racing Point pink?
No, it's like a kind of a pale pink. I'm trying to think of like.
I can picture you. I can picture.
Okay,
you
see the
saying.
Suntech thing over there, viewers. You can't see this unfortunately, but it's like
Even lighter than that.
the viewers are on the internet, so they can go and Google it. But it's lighter than that. It's like
Yeah.
more pink. So
I'm picturing the pink that you're
Like
Yeah.
Price's Lambo?
kinda like right around there.
Yeah.
Light like that. Very light like that.
yeah,
Like almost like sun faded. Like just light.
Yeah.
exactly. So I might do that, and we'll see. But
Just generally, any other topics, any other stories you were looking to tell today? We've got a couple questions that all of our guests answer at the end, and that takes a couple minutes.
My favorite part.
Yeah.
I get to judge the fuck out of you. Right?
judge the fuck. Okay.
So before we get to that, I want to make sure that obviously we could sit here and talk about cars for the next 2 hours. No
Yeah.
problem. That's easy. But fortunately, we don't have all night.
That's unfortunate. I could hang out here forever.
Yeah.
I can see why you guys watch this podcast. These guys are cool. But in terms of other,
We're just Joe Rogan of cars. That's what
That's all it
what I'm
that's
trying
good.
to brand us as.
That's good.
We
Yeah.
sit down, we talk about cars.
Less drugs and
about
alcohol,
maybe
yeah.
police.
I want to go on Joe Rogan. I feel like I don't know what I would talk about though, because we would talk about cars, then I would like want to pick his brain about all the interesting people he's talked to on that podcast.
Bro, it would segue just like this is segued. Like think about all the topics we've talked about in here. And remember we were starting, you're like, oh, what are we gonna talk about? Like all this shit we've talked about, from picking up girls to cop stories to different exhausts.
Yeah.
Same thing would happen there. You gotta start talking about outer space, aliens, and fucking everything between.
I want to be doing.
Aliens are crazy, right?
You think aliens are real?
Dude, can you believe they just they brought someone up in Congress?
Do you think aliens are real?
Absolutely.
I kind of think they're real as well.
they brought someone up?
I don't know if I can call them aliens. I just feel
Congressional-
like it's too. The universe is too.
It's too big, bro.
It's too big
way
for
too
us to
big.
be
No
alone.
way. Like none of this stuff.
Congressional hearing.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, the government has UFOs and alien bodies in its possession, and then it's in the news for a week, and everyone's like, yeah, kind of figured. What am I going to do about it? Moves on.
Don't get me started with mass media and its corruption of the youth.
Yeah, but don't exactly. That's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
Let's get into mass media and this corruption of the youth.
We don't
What
have
is
time
mass
to get
media?
Don't
into
believe
shit.
everything you see.
Oh, that's a good.
Do your
lesson.
own research.
All
When you see something that
almost
seems-
can't, because it's all manipulated.
It's everything.
everything
is skewed.
and it's both
everything-
sides.
But
It's
do you know
both
how many
sides.
times I see something and I go, this seems off, and then I Google it, and within 10 seconds I find out that it's not true. Yeah, like it's not always
How about
difficult.
all this AI stuff? Like all this AI,
Like replicating voices. and all that shit like that.
yeah, that, and also
The deepfake stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
stuff is scary, bro. Like this is Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
We're living in it.
We're living in it. Yeah, like it's gonna become sentient, and we're all gonna die.
We live in the coolest time, but the
Think so.
scariest time as well.
Eagle Eye. Seen Eagle Eye?
I've not seen that. What's that?
Really? Shia LaBeouf, the
I think I've heard of it.
central intelligence AI computer that then kind of just takes over everything,
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
and then like forces Shia LaBeouf, like blackmail Shia LaBeouf to do all these things for him.
Yeah, we're in trouble.
Could Elon's worried? If Elon's worried, I'm kind of
I'm concerned,
But
too.
also,
He is.
all we can do is drive fun cars and live our lives.
That's it.
That's one of the problems too, and I feel like the population has gotten very comfortable with like the imminent doom that's coming, which is kind of unfortunate.
Well, history's kind of
Buying them all
always been
exhaust.
about imminent doom, so this
Yeah.
kind of, we're kind of desensitized to imminent doom because there's
The thing is,
Literally
though,
always been
is well,
doomsdayers.
we will all die
no.
if like this sentient thing happens, but the world doesn't really give a fuck about humans. Like it'll be fine.
Yeah, no,
Like
yeah.
the geckos and shit, like they'll be chilling.
No, 100%.
Yo, bro, we're on the block.
Something of us.
I'll be an SF90 as a gecko. It'll become my new pond.
Yeah.
Sick.
Something of us will come again,
Yeah, probably true.
depending on what you believe in, of course.
Hmm.
I don't want to get too deep into that.
Yeah.
Does the car stuff ever become numb to you guys?
What car stuff?
Meats, driving, sound.
Meats,
can.
Meats not numb, but like the concept of a meat It's almost like we need to redesign the concept of a car meet. Because the concept is getting numb to me.
Yeah, like seeing an SVJ at a meet. There was a time
Are there
in
more
my life
SVJs
that like,
than they say they produced?
there's
They said
gotta
there's-
be.
There's
gotta
so
be.
many.
There's so many.
Just go, every time I go to
every
Orange
motherfucker
County,
who
I
sells
see
a course
Has one.
has a
It's the
has a
official
SVJ.
course pro car. I know that.
Every
We know
time
that.
we go to Orange County, I see a different.
There's a lot of my
SVJ.
boys though, so there's a lot of my boys have that shit. So I can't talk shit about that.
Yeah, we're rolling with multiple SVJs all the time, and then we're just rolling with SVJs, and a different SVJ randomly passes by, a
Yeah.
different one every single time we're down there. But
Clout.
definitely, like
Doesn't get numb.
going to a show
It
and
doesn't.
Some of it doesn't. There's parts that do. A lot of it does.
What parts?
But there's certain aspects. Like I said, like the concept of like a car meet that gets numb because that hasn't been the concept of a car meet probably because the community doesn't allow for it. That's the sad
How
part.
about all this takeover crap?
That's what I'm saying. That shit has destroyed
hate those
car
people
meets.
so much.
What
Is
needs
that
to
dying?
happen is a car meet. The
Is it
idea of the
dying?
car meet
I don't
needs
see
to
it
be
as much.
I
redesigned.
hope
my-
so.
I don't see it as much.
Oh,
on my
here we go. Here's a
Instagram.
hot take. Here's what the state police should do. If anybody's in state police who watches this, you want to stop takeovers, just literally send tickets to anybody who shows up. But you can't do it by license plates. You got to do it by VIN. You got to have undercover cops just go to all these takeovers and just, if anybody's there, anybody in like a modified car, send them a state ref. Because you know what that would do is overnight that would stop takeovers. It's going to suck for the people who show up, but don't fucking show up.
It sounds like a supply chain genius.
That stuff makes me so angry.
Yeah.
'Cause I hate that stuff.
It
so
just
much.
ruins
Bro,
everything.
because it's destroyed the car community.
Well,
It's destroyed
that, and then they see me in my M5 slide a corner, and then I go to jail. Like, what? I'm in my M5 by myself in the middle of the night.
People ruin everything.
Yeah.
That's it. That's why we can't have nice things.
That's
But yeah,
why we have the image demise.
deadass. That is how you solve the problem. It would suck, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, that's tyrannical. You never do that." Do it, because you would in 30 days if you put a shit ton of media out about it, you would do it. Speaking of media, my local police department, I'm going to give them the GT3RS to put a police livery on. We'll put
You know
lights
what's
in it.
funny?
Awesome.
You're gonna do that, and then everyone's gonna be in the comments of their thing going, "Wow, their tax
Tax-
dollars are
tax
really."
dollars,
and
yeah.
it's like you realize this is all every time.
Yeah, this
Every
is brought
time I
to you by
see some
Austin from
supercar
Boston. They
wrapped
don't
in
know.
police, everyone in the comments,
that would
"Well,
be
tax dollars." I'm
so-
like, this is literally
so
they don't own this
funny.
car.
But
They
no,
didn't
like
pay to wrap it.
I'll actually film a video of like someone getting pulled over. Like, and I'll have a cop drive it or something, or
Please.
I'll drive it with a cop next to me and we'll pull someone over.
That'd be sick.
Safely, like within jurisdiction and everything.
Pull someone
proper.
over having too loud of an exhaust.
That would be hysterical. Like we would film the whole thing like in 4K, like they do on fucking cops. With the big camera on
Can you
his
imagine
shoulder.
his ass on some shit like that? I would love it.
Dude,
so
there's
much.
who's the guy I
I
saw
want
it.
to see it.
I would love
Have you guys ever seen the video?
We got to ride around Friday.
Huh?
We got to ride around
Yeah,
Monterey.
we're gonna hang out
Friday.
in Monterey, just so you know.
Yeah.
What are you doing Friday?
I don't know.
We don't have any events. All of our events are on Saturday.
We're hanging out
Dude,
a lot
just,
during
just
Monterey.
roll
so-
around.
We got to roll around on Friday.
Yeah. I only have one seat though. Or we could slap
We'll all
somebody
have
across
cars.
Come on, I'll be up there in my freaking in my Ventity.
Dab and titty, baby.
I'm in titty.
You want me to send you some downpipes so your car actually sounds good?
The titty S.
I'll take some.
I think.
If you're sending, I'll take them.
Exhaust Daddy Austin.
Too bad we don't make anything for 2013 Aston Martins. Too
You
niche
have
of a
Aston Martin
market.
What do you want?
No. Huh?
What do you want?
It just be louder.
How loud?
With him, as loud as you can make it.
Really?
It can always be valved. It's quiet.
We'll
and it's
talk.
loud.
Yeah.
You might have some options for me.
Well, because
I could just bypass the muffler. You could get.
No. You need to work on the front of that engine, not the rear. The
Oh,
valve's
really?
rear section is actually okay on that car. You need like free flow configurations. Then what would really be good is headers on that car, like actual really good 4-to-1 equal length headers, because then it would be really exotic.
Sounds nice.
Sick.
The wheel's spinning.
But that's also interesting too. Why full exhaust configurations have really taken everything by storm, because the IPE and FI and Army-Trix, these companies got very popular by just making everything loud, but they didn't change the sound of the cars. Like a good example is the F80s. How shitty do those cars sound? Like the 2015 2020 M3s and M4s, terrible. But then Active Auto Work and Valvetronic, we come out with like our equal length configurations, and the market changes. Now the cars, I didn't like the cars before, but now that the cars sound good, I think they're cool.
Best sounding V8, 355.
That's a very good answer. Very good answer.
That just hit me. I don't know
Very
why.
good answer.
I respect that answer.
Yeah, I just envisioned a video of that thing ripping through the canyons. It's like, oh, yep, that's the one. That's the answer. Great sounding car.
Yeah, that's pretty good. What else is like a good sounding V8? Like everything, V8s are hard to make sound bad People like the E92 M3 and say it's the best. I don't think so. Is that what you were going to say?
Not at
No,
all.
definitely not.
Fuck no.
What is the best for you, V8? Actually, let's do the
still
best.
5.8, you already
Let's do
said
the
it.
best sounding 3-cylinder diesel.
The BMW i8.
Dude, we made the i8 sound sick.
I think I saw a video.
Full
of that.
exhaust and downpipe, nasty.
There's no fucking way.
Hot take, I love that car. I think that car's so cool.
What?
Get out. Get out. I've had enough.
Why? Elaborate to me why you don't like it.
I don't fit in it.
That's probably the only acceptable answer that I'll accept.
That's the only
I don't
reason
like
why
it because
I'm not.
BMW had an opportunity to make a supercar.
Okay.
Like
That also.
the Audi R8.
That also.
Like
Thank you.
BMW and supercar, that would be so
It's
sick.
my one knock on BMW
And what did
that
they
I'm not
do?
a fan of.
What did they do?
The car fits its intended role perfectly.
Does
that
it?
car looks
Fuck
like
the
it just.
intended role.
The car looks like it just drove off a motor show stand. Like it literally just looks like it came out of like a car launch video. Like it
Right.
looks like a concept car.
So what if it was a mid-engine V8, high revving?
Then it wouldn't have satisfied the shareholders at BMW.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
It would have satisfied.
They put the
all of
fucking V10 in that car.
M4
That'd been sick.
drivers.
But you can't fault the car because the design brief was flawed. It's the same thing about like the i8 is probably the best example. Like people don't like the Bugatti Veyron a little bit because they think that it's not dramatic, it doesn't handle well, whatever. You know what the design brief for that car was?
Be the fastest car in the world.
Yeah, well, kind of. It was literally just designed to go 250 miles an hour reliably. That's literally the design brief. So you can't hate on the car because it's not a McLaren F1 because it wasn't designed to be a McLaren F1. That's very interesting about car design. And I think people get it wrong quite obviously.
I agree with that point.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone tries to universally purpose some shit and they don't know exactly why that car was designed specifically
Exactly.
in that fucking manner.
Like the i8.
I can
I think
second
the
that idea.
i8 is. I think the i8 is very, very.
It's the same reason I think the McLaren Speedtail is dumb. Like,
Why?
because
Because it's not a McLaren F1.
yeah, basically.
But it's pretty cool though with the screens and shit.
Center's like fucking.
I think they're ugly
See,
too. That's what
center seat.
pisses
One
me
seat in
off.
the
I think
front,
that's what
two in
really
the back.
pisses me off about it. I think they're hideous cars.
Speedtail?
I
Yes.
guess everyone's tried to make their 650S look like a P1, and everyone's tried to make their 720 look like a Senna,
766, yeah.
but no one's tried to take their 720 and make it look like a Speedtail.
No, because the P1 is absolutely gorgeous. The Senna is not.
Can a car smile? Yeah,
Yeah.
P1. This looks like someone's face. It just drew it on the front of the car.
Are you ready for the final question?
Yeah, let's get these questions.
Sure.
I want natural instincts here.
Yes.
What's the most overrated car today?
G80 M3.
Why?
I don't
Because
know.
of the beaver teeth?
Yeah, aesthetically, I'm not a huge fan. Wow. Everybody, if this becomes a clip, this is going to be viral. G80 M3, GTP RS, even though I own one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Those two? Why?
The G80 because I mean it's really cool because with a spam email and some metal pipes you can go 9 second and a quarter, which is really, or 10 second and a quarter. It's really cool.
Server files.
I don't feel like from a dramatic experience and I feel like the car is almost too good for its own good. And overhyped, people like they fantasize about these cars like they're the greatest thing ever. They're very, very cool. But this is also my opinion and my perspective because I've been very fortunate to drive everything and be around everything. That's just my opinion. I think the cars are kind of numb. They're done right, like with the right mods and stuff. They're very cool. They're very fast. They sound cool with the Valvetronic setup. Plug. But to me, don't love the car. Like I'd rather have an F90 M5, which is what I have.
And why the GT3 RS?
Because the other cars do what, well, maybe not the RS, because the RS is just designed to be fucking fast around a track. But I do feel that you can get most of your kicks out of that car with a regular GT3. Like having the DRS move and stuff, it's all the aesthetics, which is cool. And again, also too, take what I have to say with a grain of salt because I do own the car. But I do feel like it's very overhyped. I'm trying to think of one other car that's very overhyped.
Plastic bullshit. It is. I don't want to finish your answer. I don't want to talk too much shit.
Huh?
I don't want to talk too much shit. I'm going to start talking shit.
Okay. No, talk shit.
No, keep doing your thing.
You want another overrated one, or you
Give me one of yours. I'm curious what you think.
one of mine?
Yeah, what do you think is overrated?
Um,
SF90.
So yeah, I guess so. and it's always what do people consider overrated, right? For me, I always think about just market price for the car for what you're getting. For me, that's overrated. Because what is a car rated at? What people are willing to pay for it? The market price.
911 ST.
So that's kind of like how I think
You
of
see your
overrated.
face
Just to
snickering in the
preface
background.
it.
What's yours?
The base Carrera, I think, is like the most overrated car.
Oh, see, I think you're completely wrong.
It's $150,000.
I think that's the best version. It's the most pure. Maybe not the turbocharged cars, but like 997 and 991.
Well, look at I'm talking about you go and look at a 992 Carrera. You try to go get a brand new one, you're going to pay $150,000.
That's what they cost.
What? Pretty much.
Aren't they like 105?
They start at 115. They start at 119 for a coupe.
I remember in 2015 that was the GT3 was 130.
Yeah.
Get to 150 on a Carrera with like two options.
Yeah.
The
It's
Carrera coupe
disgusting.
starts at 119.
But I feel like if you just get a base, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I get it.
So you're paying $130,000, $140,000 at the end
But
of
the
the day.
base Carrera is so
for a
good, though.
base
That's a
Carrera.
really good car.
It's a good car for 80 grand.
No, but bro, the G80 is a great car for 80 grand. Here's the thing. The inflation has taken everything to make it so expensive. A G80 with ceramic brakes and bucket seats is $110,000.
But I can get an R8 for 100.
You're talking used cars. That's not an
Doesn't
overhyped
matter.
car.
It's still it's market price. It's price for price.
I'm talking MP.
I would take-
MB, I get it. But
I
you
would
talk
take a
about
seafood
new
tower, you should-
cars.
I would take
I
a-
could
I
have
would
said
take
the
a-
E46 M3 was overhyped when it came out.
I would
because
take
there
a
was markup on it.
20,000 mile Gen 2 R8 over a brand new Carrera.
I think the joke of the R8 would wear thin quite quickly. It'd become very boring. I'd rather have a manual Carrera.
He's just tainted, bro.
Rear-wheel-
That's it.
rear-wheel
It's fine.
drive?
It's fine. He's tainted.
It's okay.
He's so far that way that you can't pull him back. It's fine. We're cool. I still fuck with
Second
you.
question. Give him the second question.
What's the most underrated car?
Ooh. Lotus Emira,
Okay.
because the sound. You can make the car sound fucking amazing. Now we figured that out.
Let's hear it.
Amazing. What's another underrated car that I've experienced that I really like? The Corvette E-Ray is really cool.
Dude.
Really?
Really cool.
Now you got some fucking sense to you, Austin. That's what I'm talking
Bro,
about.
you know what?
Yes.
Not everybody can be right on everything like you. So, you know what? I'm working on my skills, my Joe skills of being right
That
on
car is
everything.
sick. That's the whole thing. People don't even realize that Corvette's not even done building the craziest shit. The ZR1 that just dropped, they think that's crazy. They're not even done yet.
Some of like the way they've integrated some electric systems on some of the cars, I think is very cool. Now that the SF90s have come down, my friend Gio, he has one. It's very, very cool. That car is very impressive. At the dollar amount.
For the current price, I used to, okay, my biggest thing was after having the 720, I was like 720 and 765, and I guess now the 750. For the price, there is no better car
Nope.
under $1 million.
No better car.
That was what I used to think. But now SF90s, sub 500, it's kind of hard to argue that point.
SF90 is, yes, but the thing is, and I don't know about your driving style because we've just met, but I like to slide the cars. Like I would take my 720 up a canyon sideways. And there's videos of it. That is exciting. SF90 is all-wheel drive, so it becomes numb because you can't excite the back of the car safely. Like you can on a racetrack. And if you're Chris Harris, I'm not him.
He's pretty good.
But I still stand by
the
that.
best.
720, 765, those are the two best cars under $1 million.
Yeah.
There's nothing that competes.
I will miss my 720 for sure.
I miss
You're
mine
selling
already.
it?
I sold it.
Oh, you sold
I
it?
traded it on the RS. But
Really?
my car was a Spider.
Gay shit. We both had 720s and got rid of them.
yeah,
Whips. I respect it.
we're dating. Trust
But
me.
he went RS and you went Aventity.
I know, right?
Y'all really took a
I
fork in the road.
thought about an Aventador S actually,
Aventity.
an Aventator,
Aventity.
I haven't titty.
Subaru Loche.
The Titty SVJ.
I love
Yes,
that
we
guy. What's the
Chris in cars.
Prison cars. Right, Roman. So funny. But yeah, I think that underrated cars, Emira for sure. If we're talking new cars, I think also like a base Miata is also very underrated.
Well, you have
idiot, bro.
spurts of greatness
Dumb
and spurts of
fuck.
dumbassness.
Bro,
Spurts of
it's not
greatness,
all about
spurts
the
of dumbass.
expensive shit.
I know
Just
it's not
because
about
you
the
don't fit in
expensive
these
shit.
cars doesn't mean you got to tell me that my opinion's
That's
wrong.
fair. That's
when
probably
it's
what
correct.
that's probably
Thank
what
you.
it is.
That's his role. His role is to tell people that they're wrong.
Good.
That's
You do a
our
nice
that's our
job.
that's our thing.
You do a very nice job.
I'm doing good.
Absolutely sensational. But
Supercar connection. I connect, and he
says, "Yo,
disconnect.
wrong, bitch."
and he says, "Yo, you're an idiot."
But I would say this too. This is an important thing. We need to get back to a place where people can have fun on the road with skinny tires and no horsepower. That's why I think the Miata is great. Because yes, I love the
Fiat Abarth.
Yes, cool. Again, same thing. You can pick those up for like no money. Those are great cars. A perfect first car for someone. Just make sure they don't crash because they will die. But
4C 205s on the front.
that I feel like the car needs to be manual.
That's what everyone says, but
No, and
with the turbo, it doesn't really.
Yeah, but
work.
I do feel, though, that if a car is designed to be a driver's car, it must be at least optionable with a manual transmission. That's how I feel.
Okay.
So those, I would say, are my kind of
You're a stick boy. It's okay.
underrated cars. Yes.
Or
Like to operate the
he's in his
stick.
mid 40s.
Yeah, he's a stick rider.
That's why.
Huh?
He comes from a different generation. That's what he
Yeah. Because bro, I love Journey, sick.
Big Nickelback fan.
What's next? We've done underrated, we've done overrated.
You had the last one?
So mid-rated. No, I'm kidding.
Mid-rated, the car that is the most accurately rated.
He took it and ran with it.
As soon as you said it, I said he's going to fucking
Yeah,
answer.
I kind of as it was
What
coming out
car
of my
is
mouth.
exactly as advertised?
Huracan
I think that you've nailed that one.
The
That car
Huracan.
just kind of is what it is.
is exactly
what
what
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah, R8.
Build a 3-car garage, no budget.
How long do I have? I can sit here for months.
You get 3 fucking cars.
get
What do you
3
mean how long
cars.
you get? You get 3 cars.
Okay.
That's how long you have.
Hey,
Pick
you,
your top
you
3
pick in a
no
3-car
budget.
garage today with no budget. And if one of them's a Miata, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, no, because
Okay.
here's the problem. One of them is going to be dumb as fuck. I just can't wait to see which one.
Is it gonna be an ST police car or is it gonna be
Oh.
a Miata?
Fuck.
You only get 3.
He's gonna be like McLaren F1, Miata ST.
Okay, so if we have to be able to span the basis real well. So what I would do is I would have in that 3-car garage, I would have the most incredibly built Ford Explorer ST. And I would do a Coyote V8 swap, because that'd be nasty. Like basically Ford Explorer R or something. That would be the best daily car. And I'd retrofit like the Lincoln Aviator massaging seats and all the stuff from that car in it. That's the daily. The most fun car that I would use like all the time, just to cruise around, I feel like a really good Lotus Exige 260 or something like that. It's one that have to have a removable roof, but something small, lightweight, something that you would not fit in.
They all have a removable roof.
Exige 260 doesn't.
It doesn't?
The roof is fixed. At least I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, viewers, chat.
They will. They
Good.
fucking will.
But
That's
the Exige
snorkeling
260, I want the most pure driving experience, or like an early Lotus Elise, like a
I had one of those. Too.
like a on the original like shit P0 tires. So the car is fucking lethal.
I had a supercharged lease.
Those are cool. Yeah.
Someone appreciates it. Now I'm cool. No
So
longer
that-
lesbian.
and then-
I've graduated
then
from
you-
lesbian.
then you-
Yeah, I'm saying you're no longer
cool
a
guy.
lesbian.
Then you have to have something just absolutely out of control. I would say like probably a Koenigsegg Agera or something. Just something wild.
Yeah,
That or like a Gordon Murray T50. Yeah. I feel like though
the Niki Lauda for the street.
the Niki Lauda is too much.
Too much.
I wouldn't want that's automatic.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
It's dual clutch. Oh, that's too
Yeah.
bad.
That would probably be
How about
my,
the T33?
That's cool, but I'd rather have T50. I'd rather be able to take you guys with me.
No, yeah,
And the
that's true.
T33, I can't take y'all. But that I would say is my garage in the next 30 minutes. After that, it would change, like all car guys. It's just
yeah,
going to
yeah.
change immediately because I'll see something.
consistently
Like I'm
evolving.
looking at this 2-door G-Wagon, I'd be like, that'd be a cool thing to roll around Nantucket. Of course, the island that I own that I keep getting pigeonholed for because I'm wearing loafers and these cool Zara shorts.
So at this point, I'm going to make a poll. Does he look like he's from Nantucket? We're going to make a poll. After this, when we get out this, I'm making
I would stand up, but I have a huge erection, so I can't see.
That's it.
That's a
been
good
great.
garage. Yeah, yeah.
That was
plug,
a one-of-one garage.
plug your socials.
One of one.
Yeah,
Plug
you're-
my socials. Yeah, my personal Instagram is not Afromb. It's actually A from B. And
A from B.
Cheyenne.
Well, actually,
plug.
by the time this comes out, it's exhaust sommelier.
Yeah, facts. Cheyenne, get me the Instagram handle AFB, please. If you want to buy an exhaust and have a great experience and really be able to assimilate with a brand who's going to take care of you, who's going to give you an incredible sound experience, check out Valvetronic.com. I also have another thing that we're doing, which is called Car Centrals, which is the greatest thing of all time, which is the GT3 has no space. None of these really nice cars have any space. SVJ, no space. I made a little case, which is about this big. Inside it, hand sanitizer, hand lotion, mints, fragrance, lip balm, anything that you could need is in this little case. It's cheap, and it's very aesthetic, and it can go in any car.
Comes
Fits
from
perfect.
Alibaba.
Does not come from Alibaba. We actually we designed the case because the really pigeonhole me there. Clever, bringing it full circle. But we wanted something that was very aesthetic for people, like car people like us, to actually be proud to have in their car. Because people have lotion and condoms and all this fucking whack shit just spread all over the car like it's a dumpster.
Don't
fire.
lotion your hands and put those hands all over the steering wheel. You're gonna ruin.
Okay,
your steering wheel.
can we end this podcast by saying that Alcantara steering wheels on street cars are so fucking stupid?
On street cars.
On street cars. What is an Alcantara wheel for?
For grip.
With what on?
Gloves.
Exactly. Who the fuck wears gloves on the street?
If you wear
Asians?
gloves on the
Unless
street,
you are...
I will bully you.
Huh?
I said, if I catch someone wearing gloves on the street like that, I'll bully the shit out of them.
You know who wears gloves on the
I
street?
thought you were gonna get on your knees and blow them. I was like, that's fitting.
I'll tell you.
Thanks, bro.
I'll tell you who wears gloves on the street. This is just facts.
If you wear gloves on the street and you have the correct vehicle for it, like you're driving something like an Elise with an Alcantara wheel and you've got gloves on, sick, and you have your pilote shoes, word.
This is just facts. Asian men over 40 are driving with gloves on.
They probably wear a
Dude.
mask too.
Yeah.
Some of the best drivers, but also some of the worst. Hot take. Yeah. Yeah. Buy Car Essentials. Buy Valvetronic. Follow me for wild car content and me going like this and filming cars racing around. And yeah, I would close this out by saying, remember, for whatever you buy, what is the real cost of your cost savings? Valvetronic started by drop shipping stuff from here, but now doing our own developments to make the best experience. We've really distanced ourselves from this because we would have failed long ago if we were just drop shippers.
Thank you for coming on.
There you
It's
have
been a
it.
blast.
Thank you.
That's Austin from Boston.
Where are we gonna-
Austin
where are we
from
gonna go eat?
Boston. That's a good question.
Yeah.
We're out.
Time is it? We're out.